This batch of ACT Best Of is brought to you by our friends over at
Secured Roofing and Solar. If you're interested in getting a new roof, free quote, just go to securedroofingandsolar.com. And if you have any damage from a storm, they can come out and survey your roof for free.
People should be sort of doing that now because I don't know if you've been checking the weather reports, but they say it's a coming.
Yeah, and or if you're looking to sell your house and you have to put on a new roof before you sell your house, they'll work with you and they can put the roof on and then get everything at closing to make it easy for you. So they'll work with you. Mention Tom and Dan. They'll definitely take care of you. And I did my roof with Secured Roofing and Solar. So did Mo DeWitt.
Yeah, we had a bunch of listeners. Yeah, bunches of listeners have done them, but you're not going to get anywhere unless you get him out there to take a peek.
Yep, it's securedroofingandsolar.com. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
What happened? Now he's too happy.
I'm Dan. EJ is here. We'll get through it. The chat room, just like out of nowhere, the chat room, a guy types in the chat room, Tom, was the bum in your backyard named Albert? And it blew laughter and air out of my body.
Napkin
I'm sorry.
and everything.
I'm sorry.
I was telling that story to my family the other day,
The
too.
guy in the chat room said, Tom, was the bum in your backyard's name Albert? And that's what made me laugh. I apologize.
What bum? Oh, the guy that asked me for stuff.
Yeah.
Well, he said, no, he was working for me.
He was a working bum.
Can't be a bum. He's working.
There are a lot of working bums.
He was fine.
Yeah. You can be a working bum.
You're very
You
close.
absolutely can.
You're very close to being
I know. Yeah.
In fact, you have the look.
Yeah, I know.
You have the look. You have the natural look of a working
Hey,
bum.
Tom, can I get $100 to pay for my kids' stitches?
Welcome to A Corporate Time. I'm Dan. That's Tom. I'm sorry. We started a little weird. I apologize.
Our 10-year live anniversary show is this Friday. It will be live on Real Radio.
There'll be a lot of working bums there.
I plan on being there.
Yeah, come stop
do
by.
you plan on being there?
Yeah, all working
Tracy got me
bums.
tickets for me and my wife. My wife
yeah.
is supposed to be there, so don't embarrass me
well,
in front
I
of my
love
wife,
your
please.
wife.
No, we thought about bringing up some people that have done, but there's too many of
Look
them.
at our hideous cast of characters.
Yeah. And by the time we...
The parade of terrible.
outcasts.
Look at this. Oh, look at this guy. He gets worse.
Yeah,
Look at this. Look at this.
Well, we have some plans to address some of the more ridiculous
Yeah, sure.
segments we've had over the years.
We do. You're not included.
Oh, thank you.
You're not. No, you're
Appreciate
not.
it.
No, you're not one of the more ridiculous ones.
Oh,
You're more.
okay.
You were doing your segment today, so
Yeah.
I would say you have a legitimate segment.
It's hard for me and Daniel to even take a 10-year anniversary show seriously.
I don't even want to do
when
it.
we didn't even
yeah.
care about the show to begin with.
Yeah. We don't care.
It was like 10 years, and then we were like,
it's the
not
epitome.
that-
It's the
not that
epitome
good.
of like when Tom said a couple of weeks ago, he's like, "You got to do something for your anniversary," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah. At a
like
certain
that.
point, it's
I've
just
done
like,
that,
It's
yeah.
kind of like that, and I'm like, "Oh, I do. What do I do?"
what does it matter? 10 years, 15 years,
Yeah.
8 years?
We're all gonna die. Haven't you been following? The sun has got flares.
How you doing, EJ?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good to see you, buddy. You want to do some nerd
Pretty
job?
good.
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right, time.
Nerds. Nerds. Nerds.
Jock, nerd, jock, nerd.
It's Nerd Jock with EJ. We did think we should, should we do a live Nerd Jock at our 10-year anniversary? It's one of the longest.
Yeah. I've been doing it for what?
How,
at least 8 years, at least.
I think even more than that.
I got
maybe.
nothing. I don't even know.
And then we thought, absolutely not. Nobody
I
wants
would do no
it.
preparation
has
for
ebbed and
it.
flowed.
I would be
Nobody
looking up
wants
stuff
it.
right before I got on stage.
Yeah.
Not one person would want it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we're just being honest, it is one of the only bits we've had
Ask
that
the
we
chat
did
room.
cut back.
yeah.
We
that
cut
was-
it
You
back.
killed Bird Wednesday, though.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did. Yeah, but
and
we might
Boss
bring that
Everybody
Baby.
liked that one.
Everybody liked
I
that.
know.
They wanted us to bring it back.
They're like, bring back Bird Wednesday. Why don't
They
you
did right in enough.
Should
kill
we-
the jock nerd?
Okay, before we start, should we address how awkward it was when we did cut back Nerd Jock from once a week to once a month?
Well, it's an awkward here.
What's awkward for me?
I wouldn't know what you were referencing.
I had a text, EJ.
Yeah, that's like
text me.
saying,
Yeah.
hey, would everybody like to, let's all talk about how weird it was to have that mole review moved from her we're back. And I'm like, I'd been waiting on that for quite some time.
So many listeners were emailing us, and they
giving you a hard time about me.
Yeah, they were like,
He
we
doesn't do
hate
any
it.
preparation. He
they're
misses
still
stuff
mean as hell
up.
to him.
Yeah.
Like, they'll say things, they'll be like, still hate that bit. And I'm like,
But they want to be like you guys. They want to make fun of me because you guys make fun of me hard, and they want to just go just as hard as you guys do.
But that's
they want
why-
to be like you.
I'm like, but don't you like it when we make fun of EJ? That's what we think you like it because you guys are horrible monsters like us.
Let me throw something out there.
What?
Maybe even us making fun of him doesn't save it.
So it's so bad.
See, that's even meaner than what they say.
I mean, they're like, yeah, we like you making fun of people, but God damn.
Because then the argument was too. I was like, well, even if he does have his facts wrong or whatever, who cares? Because you're not. Are you listening to the show and hit this bit because of facts, or are you listening because we're making fun of everything he says and EJ? And then
I mean, there's one more.
We're
answer.
trying to make
there's
jokes.
one more out there. No one's listening.
but they were. They were so
possible.
They were emailing us so much. We're like, we hate it. We hate it.
That's the worst
fine.
one you can make. It could either be this, or this, and then you look at the
Yeah,
audience,
I'd rather
you're
get
like,
hate
is it
than no
this, or
answer at
this?
all.
And they're like, what? We're not listening.
Yeah. And then we were like, all right, fine, we'll make it once a month.
Yeah.
And then I thought people would be like, oh, what happened to once a week? Like they go back. They didn't
never
do
did.
that.
They never did.
It was like that
You know,
solved the problem.
In fact, I got a couple
And
of
everybody
emails.
calmed down.
I got a couple of emails that were just this. I got a couple of ahs.
Yeah. Then it seemed to be smooth
Yeah.
sailing after that.
Not
And they
bad.
were like,
Or
all
you
right.
can do like every influence fisher does and just ask, what do you guys think about this? So they answer you.
Oh, with
yeah.
influence?
Yeah. I hate that.
At
Like-
the end, they'll be like, hey, so, tell me what you think about this. Put it down there in the comments.
Like, I'm not answering. I'm going to definitely not answer anything you
I'm
want.
very anti the internet
Yeah.
today. I'm very anti the
But
internet.
also, when you ask people what they want, there's going to be both sides of it equally. And then when you choose one of them, then half
You're
of them
gonna
are
piss
mad.
off half of the audience, yeah.
Like, you never ask any of your audience what they want
No.
because it's going
Just
to be
give
all
them your
over the
bad
place.
stuff. Let them either choose to listen to it or not listen to it.
Anyway, all right, let's start off with what do you want to?
What do you want to do? We can talk
Let's go
about.
jock.
Let's go jock. Okay.
Yeah. Sportsy today.
Well, I picked this story out for you, Daniel, because I know you would love this one.
Okay.
Major League most hated umpire Angel Hernandez is going to retire.
yeah, I saw
he
this.
just did his last game.
They wrote a whole article about this guy, and you know what? If you Google the guy, look at his face, he looks like the most hated umpire. I like it when people look like what they're supposed to look like.
Why did people hate him?
Because he would make bad calls all the time.
Okay.
Like, people would fight him all the time. Like, he was one of those umpires that would have, like, 3 calls overturned in, like, the first inning.
Look at him. Look at him.
Well, so he was bad
Right?
at his
He-
job.
He was bad at his job,
Yeah.
and he was protected by their union, so that's the reason why he still had a job. And
So-
he was so bad at it,
kinda
and they would
think
call
he's
it.
good
Can't
for
you just not let? Like,
No,
you're
he's
too
good for
bad
this-
to
he's
work
good for the sport. I would argue he's good for the sport.
Well, not if he's bad at his job.
No, but you need a couple. Okay, there used to be.
I know for entertainment
Yeah,
wise.
there used to be
good.
an MLS.
Yeah.
There used to be an MLS referee named Ted Uncle, and this
Oh,
guy
yeah.
who used to make the worst calls for Orlando City. And I'm just going to say this: you can hate me or at me, whatever. It makes the drama better when you have a ref that's known as the bad ref.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you come to the
Definitely
championship
a heel.
game, and it's Orlando
Professional
City
wrestling,
versus yada yada. Oh, who we
Yeah, yeah.
playing? Inter Miami. Oh, who's the ref? Ted Uncle.
Oh no, we're definitely going to lose.
yeah, yeah.
I would put all the money on
It's the best.
Inter Miami
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Then the supporter group would call him the N-word.
Oh God! Yeah, that's too hard. Yeah, they're like yelling his address and doxing him. Yeah, too much.
Does that make you guilt by association if you're there in the stands while they're yelling this?
No, if everybody's yelling
Everybody's yelling and nobody's
You're
yelling.
like, I'm just part of the crowd.
That
Anyway,
doesn't make it okay.
but so he's retiring. So this makes everybody happy.
Everybody happy, yeah. Like it seems like every fan base is happy that he's retiring.
Now, but it could be like Daniel's saying, like it could make it less entertaining the game because hating the umpire is part of the fun, right?
I mean,
I would rather have more accurate calling.
Yeah, okay,
Balls and strikes.
you're falling into it. I used to say the same thing when I was younger. I'd say it to my British friends and be like, "Oh, VAR's not that bad. You'll love it." Brr, brr, brr. Nope, they were right. It's always better when it was just regular referees messing it all up, dumb old men yelling at each other.
I don't want that.
I know, but
I don't
it's
want the
just-
outcome be messed up or be questionable.
Do you want
whether
fun?
it's gambling or
Do you
not?
want fun?
That's what I have a problem
Do you
with.
want fun? You're sucking all the fun out
I
of it.
do not want fun.
All of your
my
suck-
wife already said I don't
You're
want fun.
sucking all the fun out of it.
I paid for my fun fee for the cruise though
Like-
yesterday.
I'm pretty
Thank
sure.
you for doing it. Thank you for serving. You know what? I like this bit. This is a good bit.
That we could have waived that, but we did not.
I know. That's what my wife said. I should have asked. I'm like,
Tony did ask us. He's like, "Who do you want? To pay the fuck bill?" Even my friends and my wife. But anyway, they could get a computer or some technology to call balls and strikes.
They already have it.
Yeah. And
it's there.
So there's a reason they have the umpire do it. They have humans doing this is because it's part of first baseball is super old, so they it's hard for them to change.
And most of these guys, when they get down to it, it becomes one of those things that you love, where they're like, when they really eagle eye it, the best of the best referees are nailing it.
Yeah,
they're doing fine.
Yeah.
So
They,
it becomes one of those things. And I know you love
day,
these when people are like, "It would be better with the refs," and you get to go, "Actually, it would not be." So
well, the problem is like a lot of the catchers are inching up and framing the ball better, but they're getting hit by the bats. It's happened more this year than
catchers,
what's his name broke
too.
his arm.
Yeah, well, Contreras, right?
Contreras, the guy who used to play for the Cubs.
Yeah, great player. He and his brother both are amazing players, and you see guys that
the batter swung and hit his arm.
That's it.
Oh, and then broke it.
Don't imagine that you get. It wasn't even a play. Imagine it's just a swing and a miss. It was a swing and a miss.
Yeah,
he hit his elbow. Boom, out for the season.
But it's to trick the umpire because you're framing it because he's getting closer to and he's cutting the angle off on the umpire, so you can't see where the pitch is.
Right.
So it's making it easier for them to get strikes when they're really
the
balls.
Strike zone a little bit there.
The one thing that I do like about baseball is that sometimes there are like
cheaters,
trickery, and cheating too. I love the cheating.
I like that they run out and fight. They're punching each other.
The fighting.
I
too.
like fighting the little like stuff on the neck or on the glove.
Yeah. Oh, they have a substance in their hand. Sticky substance.
Or the one guy that got in trouble for having the American flag on his glove because there's any white because the white stripes on the American flag are illegal.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. It was a Cubs minor leaguer guy.
So
Interesting.
This is a bit of trickery I've never seen, but I saw on TikTok the other day. Apparently, like if there's someone on third base, right, and someone hits a pop fly,
I know what that means.
and there's an outfielder
That's the finger, right?
waiting. You know how he has his glove up, waiting for the ball to land in his glove. As soon as that ball touches the glove, the person on third base can
Has to
run
tag
home,
up,
right?
yeah.
So they'll do this thing where as the ball's coming down, they'll pretend to catch it. Like they'll move their glove down like they caught it, causing the first baseman to start running. But the ball, technically,
it's the fake out. Yeah,
it's called something, but it's basically a fake catch to move the third baseman off, so he starts to run. Then
it makes you tag early, and then you're out. They can tag you, then get you out.
Yeah, you already left the bag early, and you're out automatically.
I thought you could go back to the third base.
You can. But if you leave early,
but if you're already gone,
if you leave early, you're already out.
That's the reason why they do that, because even if he scores, he's out if they tag him.
Yeah. So, and I've seen that move, and I'm like, I like the trickery of that. And sometimes, obviously the pitcher will pretend not to have the ball, and then there's lots of stuff like that I like.
The potato, that trick play that they pulled that one time.
The emotion that I love. And this makes me a bad person because I am a sensitive person, but I like it when all of the pressure is on the pitcher, and he's standing there, and he's failing, and he starts to cry. It's just maybe because I'm sympathetic, right? Maybe because I can feel it in my chest what that guy's going through. I'm like, ah! Like,
but that's a lot of pressure.
It's so much pressure. You see him there. I think it was Matzik from the Braves. He's not going to tell you he cried, but as he was walking off, I swear to God, I thought he was crying.
Oh,
it was heavy. What else you got, buddy?
Well, we could talk about the NBA playoffs. Have you guys been watching that? It's been fun.
I haven't.
Even though the Eastern Conference got swept, it was Boston 4 games straight against the Pacers. Which
and we had a listener that used AI and he would report back to me, and every single time AI was saying, "You got to take the Celtic, you got to take the Celtic." And he bet every time, and he won every time.
I've heard of a lot of bettors starting to use AI, and apparently it's been going on for a while with the bigger syndicates. And
longer than we think. Yeah, like one of the articles I was reading in preparation for you talking about it was that, like for me to be using ChatGPT for notes, these guys have been using it for like 4 years.
Yeah. And now it's just basically Now, I'm not sure what
Is it
type
just combing everyone's spreads and stuff like that to figure it out?
There's models and stuff that like pro gamblers have used, and they've used software ever since, for long, ever since Billy Walters, like back in the 90s.
Yeah.
So the software has gotten better and the models have gotten better, but they've incorporated AI into the models, into their own statistics. The problem is because if it's just combing the internet, you're getting so much garbage that it could be, in fact, more of the internet is garbage information than it is actual valuable.
It's becoming more
and
every day.
a lot of opinion based stuff. So I don't know where the AI is scraping the information. That has a lot to do with it.
You hit the nail on the head. A lot of facts it'll scrape for just in news. It'll go to opinion based. Things, or like
a
what's
lot of
happening in the
predictions-
Middle East. Well, it'll land on some piece that's pro-Israel or pro-Palestine, whatever you want to cut it, and then it'll just take its facts from there. And like I've seen that happen a couple of times.
What correlates from both sides, and then you use the facts from those two sources.
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
and I haven't been watching much of the NBA Finals.
It's been really exciting. I mean,
Up to this
I wish
point,
it were the Magic.
because it's like 3-0 on the Western Coast with Dallas and Minnesota. So, like, I was hoping that Ant-Man would have a good series, but he's just getting beat out by what's his name?
Doncic?
Yeah, Doncic. Yeah,
Doncic.
my wife's calling
Luka
me. I'm gonna get in
Doncic.
trouble.
Yeah, he's good, dude. Like
He is good, but he's a boring player. It's just like Joker too.
Well, that's what a lot
For
of people
Denver,
have sort of said about Luka, is that they're like, well, why isn't he the face of the NBA? And then a lot of people like clowning him and making fun of him because like he gets the job done, but it's not like you
It's
look
not
at him.
spectacular,
Yeah,
yeah.
It isn't. It isn't spectacular, but he is the best.
He does the
Like, when you
basics
watch him play
perfectly.
I don't feel like
Yeah.
I've ever seen any. Like I like the way he kind of lumbers and just does his job. Like he'll dunk the ball and he just lumbers back and he lumbers. He does not. There's no elegance.
Yeah, but
There's nothing is refined.
Yeah.
But it's, for the viewer, we want the dunks, we want the
I know.
the
You want a
razzmatazz.
windmill, you want a razzmatazz.
Alley-oops.
Yeah.
You want
what?
Steph Curry pulling up from the logo in the middle of the.
Like my shirt says,
Yeah.
you want a little slam dunk sesame. You want some Orlando Magic. You want it crazy. But yeah, he doesn't do that. But he will light you up, and everything he throws up goes in.
Let me know when you're done with the jock portion, just because I have a jock.
Let's just go. Let's do what you want to talk about now. Let's do it.
Is this
Okay.
where? Is this when you wanted to add?
make sure we
he
have enough
wanted to
time for
add-
everything.
Okay, I gotta
He
take-
wanted to
Okay.
add the triathlon report.
Oh,
no,
okay.
no,
and
no,
I'm
no.
like,
Or he's going to talk about how he
God
wants
damn.
to give commencement
yeah.
speeches
Like,
at universities.
I like this swim cap better than this swim cap. I'm
No,
like,
I thought he was gonna
thank
talk
you,
about-
madam. I am not interested.
I thought he was going to do the Butker.
So I've been working this out in my head for a while.
Yeah.
This is what I think about before I go to sleep, by the way.
Well, that's what I think.
No,
I
this
think
sounds like a nightmare.
I think many of you women out there listening to me right now will go on to be great at what you do, but you know that you'd be better served having them babies.
So I got an NFL take that is, that may play itself out closer to the season, but right now it's kind of most people, I believe, think the Steelers are going to do well this year, and I want to go the opposite route. Okay, so
But you're not confident enough in the Falcons to bet them opening game, are you?
well,
Aren't we
Oh,
the
bear
sli-
suit. Get the bear
aren't we
suit.
the slight
Come on,
edge?
bear
I
suit
think
back
Falcons
again.
are the slight edge
I
on
think
that.
the Falcons can beat the Steelers game one.
they're the Falcons in some of the books is -3.5, but in most of the books is Falcons -3.
I don't know about that.
I would take
so-
it. I would take it.
So, okay, my opinion is
Is this just to make Steelers people mad?
Well,
I think so, yeah.
No.
Is this
Is
Kevin
for
Boy
SBK
and Angel and
Angel?
Essel? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought
All of our
All
friends are
SBK
Steelers.
Live, yeah, they're all-
Everybody we know is a Steelers fan, by
Yeah.
the way.
well, we saw Matt at Publix, and I started telling him this in the paper towel aisle.
He did.
And,
Matt
he didn't
started-
want to hear it.
And Matt started walking away.
Oh, I would walk away too.
I'm like,
I don't
this
hear
is right. You just refuse to listen. So, my opinion is worthless because I don't know enough about the NFL to, because a lot of people they sit there, they come up with their opinions. Like, what is this based on? What do you do for a living? Like, if you're not, these the coaches and the team teams know 10 times,
Oh, yeah, for
100
sure.
times more
Oh,
than you.
Merchman. I forgot Merchman's a massive Steelers fan. He's in there. He said, here we go.
But the opinions I do trust are some of the best coaches in the NFL, and everybody can agree on that, right?
Okay.
Right? So
Urban Meyer.
So Sean Payton and Kevin Stefanski, right? So both of those
Fancy Stefanski.
are considered quality coaches in the NFL, right? So what did Kevin Stefanski from the Cleveland Browns do, right? Joe Flacco, old man Flacco, came in off the couch in the middle of last year and took the Browns to the playoffs.
Yeah.
He beat
Can't argue with
out
that.
comeback play. He beat out DeMar Hamlin for comeback player of the year. DeMar Hamlin died on the field.
I did love that joke. It's so
I still
funny.
love that
He
joke.
came back to life, and old man Flacco
More impressive.
beat him out because it was more impressive that he came in.
DeMar was
and-
young.
Yeah.
Had Joe Flacco come back to life, more impressive.
Yeah.
Older
So
man.
this is how what
depends on who's voting,
an
Joe.
accomplishment that Joe Flacco did,
white guys voting
bringing
instead of-
the Browns to the playoffs that year. And what did the Browns do? They cut him.
Yep.
And they couldn't cut him fast enough, right? So I was like, wow, that's weird. You would think
Yeah.
that someone that brought you, like, keep him around as a backup, quality black backup. If Deshaun Watson,
I heard that.
Yeah. That's the money talking. That's that Chevy Silverado money
if
talking.
Deshaun Watson, he gets out again, you want Flacco as a backup, but no. You know why he did that? Or
Flacco the backup.
Or why I think he did that is because for years having a bigger name backup QB has not been something that the
a
NFL
negative,
wants. It's a negative. We saw this with Cam Newton. Because why Cam Newton never got a third chance. Like once the Pats cut him, like he could have been a backup quarterback. No one wants Cam Newton as your backup because guess what? If your quarterback starts playing back
Makes one
poorly,
mistake,
then everybody
bring him
starts
in.
chanting
Yep.
his name, right?
Is it almost like a forced distraction?
It's
Yeah.
a distraction. And
It was like Tim Tebow. That's the reason why
Well,
they
no,
didn't want him on
I
the
feel
field.
like this is even worse because, like, you're right. I've never thought of it like that. I mean, a distraction is a distraction, but then having them demand, and
Yeah.
public opinion has never been stronger, right? Because everybody
has an opinion, yeah.
and you can launch it using zeros and ones and
Yep.
your phone.
And you would think it doesn't matter. Like, who cares? These, these football coaches don't care what the people think, but the owners do.
Owners do, yeah.
And then
Look
also,
at the Falcons when we had what's his name playing, and they wanted him out, and they wanted to put in El Heineke. Remember that? It was destroying the vibe. The whole vibe of the franchise
Was it Ritter?
was ruined because
Yeah.
it was like you were having to decide, or why is he waiting? Why
Yeah.
isn't he playing this guy?
So that to me is a proven thing in the NFL
Yeah.
that you do not want distraction as your backup QB, right? So I mean, Kevin.
Well, sometimes it's a business decision
you
as
should
well.
write that down. That sounds like something Tony
making,
Dungy would say.
He might be making more money if he's still on the roster at a certain point, and sometimes it's just a business decision and to not hit your cap on it.
That's true. Now, Joe Flacco, I don't think that's the case because I think he may have landed on a team. But he could have been the cheapest backup.
Yeah.
Like it seems to be a thing, right? And the best coaches in the NFL don't want it.
Yeah,
right?
you don't want distractions on your team.
So
Yeah.
I'm just listening to them. The best
Antonio
coaches,
Brown kind of
right?
scenarios.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
did. He landed at the Colts.
Oh yeah, but so
that's right.
So it's just like that seems to be a thing that we can agree on that the best coaches agree, right?
Okay.
So I'm just taking their word for it. The best. So then Sean Payton, who's also a good coach, what did he do? He got Russell Wilson the hell out of there, right?
Yep.
They took an $85 million cap
Bad,
hit.
yeah.
like $85 million. That's how bad Sean Payton, who's considered a good coach, right?
Yeah.
Thought Russell Wilson. He didn't even think he was equal to a rookie, right? Like he wanted him the hell out of there. Now that could have been some personality.
My personality mostly with Russell.
But like obviously,
A lot of bad there.
like ownership is like, hey, we pay we owe this guy $85 million. We're gonna have to pay him out. And like so, it was that bad that Sean Payton believed get him the hell out of here
They
and
didn't want him
willing
high
to take
knee
the
on
hit.
plane
right?
or anything like that.
So there's now Sean Payton, who I consider to, and I think universally is considered a good football coach.
I think he had a good team. I think that helps a lot
Doesn't
with that. Yeah.
back-
Baggy
believe-
pants are too baggy.
Russell Wilson
Yeah, so
is
did-
good. Right, so now the Steelers have Russell Wilson, and they also have Justin Fields,
Yeah.
who the Bears got rid of him for the same reason. They don't need Justin Fields as a backup. They traded him for like what is that, like 6th-round pick or something,
like that, yeah.
some garbage.
Because they knew they were going to get Caleb Williams,
Yeah, but they could have kept him as a backup. They got rid of him for nothing, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't. So now the
Distraction.
Steelers have Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, right? Which on paper everybody's excited about. Like Matt,
Well, Matt was like, it gives me 2 better options than I had last year. That was his quote.
Because that's a rationale. It's
Okay,
like,
I see
well,
that.
both are, I believe, better than Kenny Pickett. So but here's
Still
the
like
problem.
the name Kenny Pickett.
So now you have 2 big name quarterbacks battling it out to see. Now they both are cheap, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is that's not the problem with these having like a name backup quarterback. The problem is with your fans and the distraction.
Yeah.
Because guess what? If Russell Wilson has one bad game, people will be chanting Justin Fields, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then it's going to be constantly issue the whole year because
Honestly, and I'm not making a joke here,
Yeah.
so please don't take it the way I think you're going to.
Yeah.
It's the drunkie the bear.
Wait.
Think about if you're playing on the Predators, right? And the season's going a certain way, and then remember when they would chant your name? Think about how all those players talk about them.
I was there.
Talk about an effing distraction, dude. That's my point.
And you have
It's
a special rule
distraction.
carved out just for you. They don't do that for anybody.
It's a massive distraction.
And there's a reason other teams could have done this in the past because there's been plenty of higher quality, bigger named quarterbacks that basically the teams have passed up on because they don't want the distraction. They're like on the cusp of they could be a starter or whatever, but they don't need that in their quarterback room because for whatever reason they deem it not valuable to their team and not. So I'm looking at this. It's the first time I've seen in a long time that a team has taken 2 last year QB1s and put them on the same team, and then now we're having them battle it out. Then there's all these rumors about Justin Fields. They're like, oh, they're going to have him take kickoff returns and stuff. They're never going to put Justin Fields out there.
They might put both of them in at the same time, though.
And that's been a rumor that's going on podcasts I listen to because apparently that maybe the Steelers or like some beat reporters have leaked it out that they're like that they could use Justin Fields in the kick returns because he's a good runner or whatever.
That sounds extremely strange.
But my prediction is this is going to be the first year that Tomlin has a losing season. He's going to go under 500.
Wow. Heard it here first. Here's the point.
Here's
the point.
And I would take the under this season, which like my book
So
is
you're
8.5.
8-9? They think they're going to go 8-9. They're still going to be like close to 500, but because it's 17 teams.
I think they're always close to 500.
Yeah.
It's usually they're 9-8. But I think this year they go 8-9 or below because
just slightly worse.
This Russell Wilson, Justin Fields thing does not work.
Because it's not focused.
And it is a mess the whole year, and eventually Russell Wilson's going to play
poorly.
poorly.
Takes I haven't hated.
See, counterpoint, though.
I like
what
this.
if they invent a new offense that's kind of like the Wildcat, and they put both quarterbacks in the game, and you have to figure out what they're doing?
Let me tell you why you're an
No,
idiot.
I'm not
Tom
saying
does
this.
not believe in new offenses.
It worked for the Dolphins when they first came out with the Wildcat. Nobody was ready for it because they didn't have a good quarterback. Well, because Baltimore figured it out.
This is why
that's what
goes
happened.
back to
They were forced to do it.
It's not. Anyway, we got to keep moving too. We're going to only do football.
definitely.
By the way, the Saints tried to do that and continue
Taysom Hill,
with Taysom Hill, and
I enjoyed that for a minute.
It's still fun to watch. I enjoy watching it. That he's all over the place.
Has it worked well for him?
No, it's not.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes
but their team's not that
fun.
good
It's fun.
comparatively.
It's kinda fun.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Should you go to nerd stuff?
yeah.
Okay. Did you guys ever get the Apple, not the Oculus, what it's called, the Vision Pro?
No, hell no.
I know a lot of people did it, but they're talking about they're giving a new Marvel What If for free on the Apple Vision Pro on May 30th. It's a new app called Marvel What If, an immersive story, and it's going to feature like Wong and the Watcher, and it looks pretty good. Like, have you seen it?
Wong. I'm sorry.
Who is Wong?
Wong is Doctor Strange's assistant, but he became the Sorcerer Supreme when Doctor Strange got blipped.
He was
snapped.
He was in some movie.
He's in tons of stuff.
Did you yell, it's Wong?
Yeah. What movie was he in?
The Three Body Problem.
No. It was some Marvel movie that he was the only. Was it the
new Garfield?
Was it She-Hulk?
No,
He
it
The
was
new
She-Hulk.
Garfield.
It was the Chi. It was the Chi one.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
He was at the end of it, yes.
Was it Big Money Rustlers?
But by the way, because my boys wanted to watch a Marvel movie over the weekend, and we watched.
You have
the
to
Shang-Chi.
clarify. Do you mean
I
your,
like Shang-Chi.
Do you mean
Shang-Chi's
the people
one of my
you hang
favorites
out
of
with,
the
or
newer
your
ones.
sons?
About my sons.
Okay.
And they chose the Shang-Chi movie
Yeah.
because that was the next
And you're
one in the
like, God damn.
Like, my sons are never going to be as tough as Shang-Chi punching that wall and breaking his fingers.
No. And I watched it, and I was
They
like,
never have that grit.
did the Chinese government have anything to do with that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, all
Oh,
right.
yeah.
So it was propaganda because I
Not
watched
propaganda.
No, it's just
an
like
intro-
it's allowed to play there.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Because there's
whenever-
more Asian characters in the movie,
Yeah.
so it improves their spending over in China.
Yeah, but it was very propaganda.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it even showed like where the red team was the good ones, and I'm like, oh, China's red. Right? I thought, right? That's how it is. Not that I care, but I was like, this seems like
hold on a second. I may just be
Wait a
a
minute.
simple man that does a simple podcast. This is
communist
propaganda. A whole lot of red.
But it was like all of a sudden it was outside of the normal Marvel movie,
Yeah.
and then it was just like I was like,
I
this is
feel
odd.
like I've been propagandized.
No, I'm not saying it like that.
Somebody shoot propagandized into my eyes.
But it was
I'm
just,
propaganda.
it came off weird, like totally different than other Marvel movies, right? Did you see that?
I don't
Did you watch it?
I don't watch movies, but I did hear that from multiple people
Okay.
that it was very much a like it.
They were trying to expand into the Chinese
Yeah,
market.
they
That's
want
what
to get
were
that
doing with
market.
the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I always
so
look
that's
at it
what they're
from
doing.
money.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Yeah, it was money.
That's the reason why the Meg had a
And
bunch of Asian characters in
100%.
it.
They're like, we want all of their money, so we're going to take anything that could be mildly abrasive to their culture and take it out of it
Yeah.
and roll it.
And did the actors? Did they voice both? Because did they?
Oh, they probably did the audio in both
in Chinese,
Mandarin
yeah.
and in English.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
probably.
All right. I was worried because I was
Because
like,
the beginning
this
of the
is for
movie's
money.
in straight up it's subtitles for us Americans. Yeah.
Then my sons were like, "Is it gonna be like this the whole time?" I'm like,
We can't read this whole thing.
We can't do
Our
this,
father
Daddy.
can barely read it.
I
Did
don't
you wear your
just-
glasses while you're watching it too?
Just look at the colors. That we're the red team,
Just
but not in
cheer.
real life.
Just cheer with a whoosh.
We're in real life the blue team. You know. Anyway.
Oh my god!
Keep moving. Keep
But
moving.
that, the show I've been watching lately is Dead Boy Detectives. Have you seen this?
Dead Boy Detective.
Yes,
that sounds like what pedophiles watch. What was the pedophile watching when you kicked his door and he was watching the Dead Boy Detective?
That's the funny thing about it. Like, they're supposed to be these, like, they're supposed to be underage, so they're like under 18, which is bad
that's
enough
not
as it
good.
is.
I've
Because
been
they
taught that
died
all
before
of
they were that age. Before
Barely
they got-
legal dead detective.
But they've been around since like 1918, and the other one's been since the 80s. But they're young. They're underage.
They're
is the whole point.
underage ghost detectives.
Yes, they're
Hold on a
ghosts.
second.
Yeah.
I've
It's a
seen this
spinoff of
before. Do they
Sandman.
pee in the straw?
So where's this on?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
And it's a spinoff of Sandman, and it's a very interesting show. It's basically, I want to say,
Sandman?
Scooby Doo meets
Underage
Supernatural
dead detective.
meets Buffy. I would probably say is a good kind of
Okay.
mixture of the show.
And so the detectives are ghost detectives.
They're two ghosts.
They work
They
together.
died years ago, and they try to figure out like ghost problems.
Now, can they talk to humans?
They talk to a medium who's the only person that can see him, or if you had like a near death experience, you could see them too.
But the medium is played by Jelly Roll. And it's effing awesome.
No, her name is
And it's
Crystal
effing
Palace on the
it's Jelly
show,
Roll
which is
with a
so
girl's-
weird.
It's Jelly Roll with a wig, and it's effing awesome.
Can the ghost enter into a human body, i.e.,
Yes,
ghost
they can possess.
like Patrick
Yes.
Swayze?
Yeah.
and
they
then
can
you
go inside a human.
and then you dance with Whoopi Goldberg.
By the way, here's if I were a
Can't you
ghost,
feel her dreads?
if I were a ghost and I flew into a woman, I'd be like, whoa. And I was in there, I'd be like, oh, man, Whoopi. I was like, I want anybody.
Yeah, but she was Guinan. She was in Star Trek.
Yeah. But when you're slow dancing with her, Demi,
Yeah.
you can feel her dreads.
Yeah,
And you know it's like,
I'm like, hold on, you're my height. This is Whoopi Goldberg, isn't it? You're 5'2".
So you say it's a good show?
Speaking of which, Demi Moore's going to be naked in her new movie, Full
Yeah.
Frontal. Have you heard about that?
She's in some new
Currently?
She's in some
Yeah.
new movie that's where she's like a.
They make a young version of her, and like they fight naked, and they're covered in blood and stuff like that.
Oh, I thought you were
It's
talking.
Full Frontal. Yeah.
Is it a CGI Demi Moore? Or?
No, it's Demi Moore, 61-year-old Demi Moore. more.
Is that a goddamn
It was
CGI? Holy smokes! I think that's a goddamn CGI. Give me more.
But she's supposed to be young, so
There's supposed to be a young version of her because it's like it's some horror suspense movie where they make a younger version of yourself, and they use that person. And she ends up fighting herself.
So how is she going to play a younger version of herself nude? Because there's no.
I think it's going to be CGI'd. Yeah, they're
Well,
gonna
then just
Oh, that's
smooth
what
it
I
out.
asked.
You get the dodging tool, right?
Yeah, but you gotta lift it up. And it's gonna be completely different. Because
Yeah,
a 60-year-old woman's body, it just can't. You can't.
Yeah, but she's pretty good. I feel like
She is.
If
But
anybody could do it,
but
you're not going to have to do as much work with her as most. I would say.
No, I know, but you're not going to be able to make it look like she's 20 without some sort of CGI,
Yeah.
like heavy CGI.
Right? You want to be on that team? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying it's gonna
Throwing your
have
hat
to
in the ring.
He's going to spend the time, do the
Tom's
graphic
Tom's like,
design.
I don't know Photoshop, but I'll learn.
Yeah. So what's next?
The next thing is I bought my Deadpool Wolverine tickets day one, which the IMAX at Point Orlando is sold out for the whole run. Well, the first day, and it was crazy because I'm like in the top corner for the 7:00 showing, and it's broke the record for the most pre-sales day one for an R-rated movie. It beat Joker and it beat Oppenheimer.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, I'm kind of glad that, and this is going to sound really weird and maybe like I'm a sensitive boy, but
Okay.
I'm kind of glad that the pre-sale tickets for the #1 movie isn't a movie about the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
I feel like we went on that one, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like it's really disappointing if the #1 R-rated movie pre-sale tickets is a movie about the atomic bomb.
Well-
I like it better if it goes for something artistic.
The one that made the most money was Joker of all time.
Well, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
of
but
all time, yeah.
At least the Oppenheimer showed me that maybe our society isn't that dumb, but the Wolverine did. So
Yeah, we want to see the ketchup and mustard
Yeah.
fight it out on the screen. Come on.
And had the opposite effect to me. I was like, at least Oppenheimer, had some valuable history
sex scenes are
information.
good.
And
Well, I know what
and
happened.
physicists talking about science.
And he's like, dear God,
But there's
what
also
have I
nudity
done?
in that movie, and you showed it to your kids on a plane.
Oh, yeah, that's right. wait till this new Demi Moore movie's out. We'll
Yeah.
be able to-
Well, go on the plane. Where are you going to Colorado next?
Now, is this how every year some wide receiver or quarterback is the most paid wide receiver quarterback in history, but it's just because this year the salary cap goes up and they can pay them more.
Yeah.
So of course they are because you could pay them
Adjusted
more.
for inflation
So
and all that
is
stuff,
it
yeah.
is it adjusted for
Probably not.
the ticket price? Because the ticket
It's
price
just because the ticket price is the most expensive. It's just the most money. It's one of those things where they get to write an article. That's probably what it is.
Yeah. Well, because if your
It's
ticket
like saying
price is higher-
if you adjust for inflation, Jaws probably beats it out for sure.
okay.
I mean, this is like off subject, on subject. Was
Yeah.
Beetlejuice on your list at all?
I was going to talk about Beetlejuice.
The
new
trailer?
yeah, how they basically kill. What's that guy's name? I can't think of. He was a pedophile, and he was the
Jeffrey-
Jeffrey. It's not Jeffrey Combs. It's Jeffrey something else.
Jeffrey somebody.
Not Jeffrey Rush.
yeah.
I can't think of his name, but they killed him off screen, and that's the beginning of the trailer where he's dead.
I
And, they
enjoyed-
definitely killed him for that reason.
I enjoyed the trailer.
Who's a pedophile?
Is that the new game show? Welcome back, though.
Is that the new segment you're replacing me with? Nerd Jock's gone. Who's the pedophile?
Oh, he's the scariest pedophile. You got worm fingers.
The sandworms.
I'll save that little beauty for later.
Who was the pedophile?
He was the father in the first movie.
Remember the fat guy with red hair from
He was also
Ravenous
in-
who ate all the people? That guy.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He was the principal.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was in
yeah.
Howard the Duck. He was the scientist that turns into a
So
like
they
a
kill that
monster.
guy off in the beginning of this new
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Was that guy
Parody.
really a sex offender in real
Yeah.
life?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think that's why he's not in the film.
That's the reason why he's not in the
And
film,
Maybe
yeah.
he died. I don't know. Anyway, when I watched the actual the clip, did they rush it? Because it felt to me like, and they do this sometimes where they're like, we got to get this thing out, we got to get it out, and then they put it out, and then they'll come back later
And work on the
make
CGI?
it look better. Because to
Or the
me,
makeup?
I didn't think it looked that good.
I think they were going for make it look like the original movie.
Okay.
I think that's what they were going for.
Okay.
Because remember when like Beetlejuice shows that really scary face and they show it from behind and they never really show it?
Yes.
They do that in this trailer as
It's
well.
very practical.
And they're definitely doing
Yeah.
that on purpose.
It's very practical effects. I love
they
all
want the
that.
nostalgia money. That's
Yeah.
what they're doing
All right.
for.
Now, is it impossible for them to
Nothing's impossible.
make this movie to hold up to all the people that love it so much. Because to me, it's
It's an
kind of an
impossible
impossible task
task, yeah.
because there's so much nostalgia linked
Yeah.
to this. And think about like the Beetlejuice show and Universal.
Well, we
and,
got to
like,
bring Summer in because
you
this
know.
is like her favorite movie, I think.
Yeah.
And she
When it
also
comes out,
knows
yeah.
everything about it. Yeah, she's already
Yeah.
been like analyzing the trailer.
Oh yeah,
And-
definitely going with Willem Dafoe in it, and
Yeah, I want
Monica
her to
Bellucci, I
kind
think
of
it
help
was.
us with because there are some details in the trailer I think that we missed. So maybe we can get a phone call with her sometime soon to like kind of break it down.
Also, I'm sure when they, originally did Beetlejuice, maybe some people thought that it wasn't going to be the hit that it was going to be. Like no
Oh,
one
I
foresaw
definitely think that.
it being that popular. So there probably some like. They were able to maybe take a looser stance, and the pressure was off. So that was what created the magic of Beetlejuice. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, no one's gonna like.
Yeah.
It's so weird of a movie.
Yeah, and it was.
Yeah, that
I remember my
who
dad,
knows?
low key, I think, hated Beetlejuice.
Really? Did he like
Because-
that, Alec Baldwin?
He didn't like
He
Alec
knew
Baldwin.
about the Rust thing
he didn't,
coming up?
My dad hated some stop animation.
Yeah, so
he didn't
it's so
Get that.
weird.
Flush that down the toilet.
The sandworm and all the-
of that was garbage.
Did he like that Beetlejuice was horny? He
did. My dad liked anything that was horny. Yeah, my dad liked
'Cause
that.
he did
Yeah,
make
when he's
inappropriate.
Like, hey, save that little
There
beauty
was a
for
strip
later.
club.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
there
like,
was-
looking at
yeah.
the girls like alien boobs. And hubba, hubba. My dad would be like, "Yeah, that's great stuff."
And it's really his performance that is so iconic, right? Like,
Yeah.
where he took the character.
Michael Keaton is the
Yeah.
reason why that movie was probably the most successful.
And
Yeah.
so now, although Michael Keaton's still a good actor, a
he's
great actor,
fantastic, yeah.
and has only gotten better, is he going to reinvent the character? Is he going to do the same
I
thing?
think he's doing the same.
no, he's doing the same thing.
I think he's just gonna.
He's going back to the well
You know,
for sure.
Let him eat cake.
Yeah.
So exactly, he's Beetlejuice. The character he created, nothing's going to vary from that, right?
Yeah, but you don't want him to be different.
No, I know.
Because
I
you're
don't-
going, like I said, we're going for nostalgia. We're not going for.
Well, I don't
But he's
think
an artist.
Reinventing
it's
the wheel.
He's the only character you need for the movie.
Yeah.
You don't need Jennifer Ortiz. Is that her name? Jenna Ortiz?
Or
The beautiful Wednesday girl, whatever her
Jenna,
name. The
Ortega.
hot it girl,
Jenna
Jenna
Ortega.
Ortega. Yeah, you don't need her. You don't need Winona Ryder.
Catherine
although
O'Hara.
It's cool. You don't need Catherine O'Hara, who's phenomenal.
Is
Yeah.
Winona going to be in it?
She's in it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in it.
yeah,
Is there a new young character?
Yeah,
yeah,
The-
Jenna Ortega.
Oh, okay.
The Wednesday.
Wednesday Addams. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this, it's going to make the money regardless.
Oh,
because
I'm gonna
people
go
are
see
going
it.
to
Yeah,
see
for
it.
sure.
Yeah. So it's a win-win kind of because even if it's not, if it gets bad reviews
It's
by the
Ghostbusters,
hardcore,
right? It's
yeah.
like no matter what, you're going to show up, and even though you might not like it as much, you may even go to bat for it because you love the first one so much.
Yeah.
You may even go to bat for it and be like, "Oh, they delivered exactly what I wanted."
But even if people say it's not good, people will just see it out of curiosity, just to
let's
see
it,
the
yeah.
character.
Well, it's
again.
the same thing with Madam Web. Everyone's watching on Netflix because it's free right now.
Yeah.
And it was like the #1 movie for a little while on Netflix because everyone's like, let's see how bad this really was. And that's the reason why it moved up in the charts there.
And that's kind of sneaky, not fair.
Right?
That's kind of low key.
I already paid for the
especially
service.
if you made it #1, and it's kind of like, well, yeah, well then it is good because you went back and you watched it.
But also, people love to see bad movies. I love watching a really bad movie that's trying hard to do.
Oh, speaking of which, has anybody seen Tires?
No, is it good? It looks bad on the previews.
It's
Well, I feel like it's rushed out a little bit because of the popularity of
Yeah.
Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis
and
is big right now.
and Netflix is like, let's pump something out
Yeah.
for to get
what it
clicks
felt like.
because everybody wants to, and I'm sure Shane Gillis is probably going to do another stand-up special that'll be popular.
it felt like
yeah.
it was kind of made in a afternoon.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
felt very smoking.
They
Ninja.
wrote it real fast and put it
felt-
out. Yeah,
it felt
Yeah.
very, very thin.
It could just be a money grab. I mean, Netflix is
Yeah,
a
Netflix does a lot of money grabs.
giant
They need
corporation
that.
now.
Yeah, they need that.
Also, what's her name's new movie? J-Lo's new movie, the Atlas, that's on there. Have you guys seen that?
No.
It looks interesting, but at the same time, it does look bad at the same time.
What is this?
Atlas? It's the new Jennifer Lopez movie. It looks like she's in like Mex or something like that. I haven't done a lot of research on it. I just saw like the preview on Netflix while I was watching Dead Boys.
All I watch with her is that picture of her walking away as Ben Affleck's looking at her with that mean face. And I laugh and I laugh and I laugh because I know that feeling. And then everybody puts a meme under it, like how we all know, like we've all been there. We know how you feel.
Ben Affleck, we
and
feel
I'm
you.
like, God damn, that's like that meme is hitting the bullseye.
I like how grumpy Ben Affleck is.
Me too.
It
Standing
makes me
there
like
with a
him
ram
more.
Every person from Boston is that guy.
I like him mad smoking, mad alcoholic.
Just looking at her like, "Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Are you crazy? What did you just say?"
So EJ, still have your
Micon
coming up?
we don't know what we're doing with it right now because
Oh, you're like
the
Hamburger
Wyndham,
Mary's.
the Wyndham looks like it's closing down.
Oh,
The
really?
place that we do it on, that's on Sand Lake and International Drive, it looks like it's shutting down. So we got to figure out where we're going to move it to or
at
whatever.
Secret's Hideaway.
Kissimmee? I don't want to be like Ryan Holmes.
Let's do it. Let's do my car.
I don't want to look like
Secret's Hideaway.
So anything else to plug? That's it.
nothing. Let's go. I'm going to be on your cruise, and I'm going to go to your 10th anniversary show.
Oh,
That's
you're
the
going to
two
be on our
places I'm going.
cruise?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You
Remember
heard
my
that?
dead uncle helped me pay for it?
I was just saying that.
Thanks,
Only to get you guys to laugh. That's the reason why I did it.
That's funny.
And I just thought we're doing our live podcast. I'm trying to work on the time because right now.
Are you going to put some like band right before the comics this time?
How many people go out to Nassau? Because like Tony was telling me, like no one ever goes out to
Everybody does.
I know. What are you talking about? Tony doesn't. He thinks he's everybody.
So once Tony gets to Guy Fieri's Burger Bar, he just locks in.
And then I'm like, all right. So he's like, we could do it earlier in the afternoon because if anybody does go out, they'll be back. Then I'm like, okay. But then Crystal was like, oh, people are not going to be back. We're like, we want to go out snorkeling. I'm like, snorkeling? Oh,
People
God.
do it. People do it.
My wife
And
will
it's
go
normally
snorkeling.
the people that go with us that shouldn't be snorkeling that'll go snorkeling.
I'm like, you never seen nothing some fish. No good. All right. We'll be right back. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
We've got our live show this Friday at the Ritz Theater in Sanford.
Yeah, man, at the beautiful Ritz Theater in Sanford. Our name on the marquee.
And if you still want to go, there are some tickets way in the back, though. They're the worst tickets.
They're there. They are the worst. They're back there near the marquee.
Yeah, there's like maybe a couple rows of seats back, but you can still come if you want.
You know, all I can think about is my parents they didn't live to see my name on the marquee. Or me in my triumphant return to radio. I wish they were both alive to see it.
Yeah.
And it hurts me. It cuts me so deep knowing that they're just going to have to follow along from heaven.
It will be broadcast live on the radio.
Yes.
And
right up there in heaven.
And then we'll be doing an after party at Tuffy's.
Yes, with live music and some drinks. And I'd like to see all you guys and hang out.
So everybody's welcome at the after party. Of course, everybody comes to the show.
Yeah.
But even if you don't make it to the show, come to the after party. We'll all be hanging out there.
It's a nice chance to check out the music box if you've never seen Tuffy's music venue. Very cool.
Yeah, they booked a live band for us. So anyway, that's this Friday. Also, I believe this is the last week to book your cruise. TomandDanCruise2024.com.
Yep.
And then we'll be setting sail in September.
Somebody emailed me because we are on the MSC Seashore,
Yeah,
I believe is the name of the boat, brand new boat.
Hard to say.
And some guy tried to like big dog me and be like, hey, Dan, are they putting you up in the Yachtman's Club? And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think anybody's mentioned the Yachtman's Club.
No.
And the guy's like, well, you need to do the Yachtman's Club because he says I've done a lot of 5-star and this is 6 stars. And he's like, and you deserve that. And I was like, well, I'll make a note and I'll ask my buddy Cheapo Tom if I can get the 6 stars. I want the 6 stars, man.
You're lucky to get a balcony.
I know.
I was like, 3 insides, please.
Take his balcony off. 3 insides.
Like, we don't need a balcony.
3 insides.
We don't need a balcony.
Inside near the engine room, and it smells like doo-doo back there.
It's just the cheap. We're there to work. This is a job.
Everyone knows that any interior cabin on a cruise ship smells like a doo-doo.
No. We're going to be out there on the pool deck shaking hands the entire time.
Get to work.
Yeah.
You didn't shake that guy's hand. Shake his hand.
Yeah. If we miss one listener's hand, then it's all for nothing. Anyway,
I want the Yachtman's Club. 6 stars, man.
Yeah, no.
6.
Yeah.
I've never had 5.
Yeah. We can't get the Yachtman's Club.
This guy said it had a thalassus pool.
Yeah. I mean,
They got the thalassus.
It
That's the water pool that vibrates your whole body. It's like a massage.
That doesn't work.
Oh, it absolutely works. You ask the Greeks. The Greeks have been doing it for hundreds of years.
Wait,
Tip-top shape Mediterranean diet, sir.
It's just vibrating water?
Yeah,
So stupid.
it's like a big mega hot tub. That's how you know. Like, what's better? Okay, well, who's the richer man? You with the little hot tub or the thalassus? The big old thalassus.
So we've got a weird job, and you've created another weird job AI song.
Well, this one I had waiting around, and I remember that I liked this one, but
Okay.
the prompt I put in Bollywood, but I don't think it went Bollywood.
Okay, all right.
It didn't, but I remember liking it because I gave it a thumbs up.
All
So
right,
here,
here we
it's
go.
just going to be a new Weird Job song. Let's see how it goes.
Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really liked it. Tom said, what's it? It's another Weird Job Wednesday. But what are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your towel looking down on all the people that are working by the hour? It's Weird Job Wednesday, just another Weird Job Wednesday.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
Weird Job Wednesday, just another Weird
Wow, this
Job
is got me wanting
is
to
it like-
scoot my boot around.
Folk music? Or,
No, this is like a good old. This is standard country.
Okay, standard country.
Oh, thank you, Tom. Oh, you got a little thing. Oh, you got like a soloist.
It's kind of like a church.
Yeah, you got like a solo at the end.
orchestra. Anyway, so
This guy like a church orchestra. What the hell are you? A church orchestra?
what is it? Shayla? Shayla, how you doing?
Hi. Hi, I'm great. How are y'all?
Let me guess your job. You in a church orchestra?
Sorry, Shayla. We're coming back from Memorial Day
Yeah,
weekend.
we're cuckoo bananas. We're cuckoo crazy.
If we get 3 days off, we're rusty. Which it shouldn't be. We're just talking.
Shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is the whole week, the whole weekend I was off.
Yeah.
Didn't say one word.
I know. Me neither.
Didn't say one word.
I spent most this weekend, besides from baking ourselves in the sun on the boat, which I think the
You
sun
look good, though.
The sun's radiation was more this weekend than it seems to be.
We were hitting 100s.
But not the temperature. I'm talking about like the pure radiation.
Oh yeah, there's a way more radiation. Yeah.
I don't know, like the UV rays or whatever.
Put
It
a
seems
Geiger counter on it.
Is it still left over from the flare that was causing all the?
No one knows. Nothing could be done. Nobody. No, there was a bigger flare. Did you know that? Remember that we prepared for the flare? Prepare for the flare. Everyone saw the hashtag.
Oh, you're prepare for it.
I just made that up.
Oh, okay.
But everyone was like the flare.
Yeah, you see the aurora.
The day after the flare, bigger flare.
Okay, well, I think that big flare sunburnt my kids.
I'll get you, Flair. I think it was Ric Flair actually that burned your kids.
Anyway,
he got drunk and slapped their thighs.
How you doing, Shayla?
I'm real good. How are y'all?
Good. So, okay, what is your weird job?
I am currently an independent living instructor for.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, hold on. I'm hearing music blasting you, and I think it's coming from me.
Oh, okay.
Okay. There you go. Go ahead.
I'm an independent living instructor for blind people, and I take blind teens and children on field trips.
All right.
Whoa.
So
That's a good one.
And Shayla, you also used to be a school nurse, correct?
Yes, absolutely. I was a school nurse. I just recently left that to take this on full time. I was doing both, and then I switched to just doing this one.
All right. Okay.
So you've heard every excuse in the book.
Well, let's start with school nurse. So is it elementary school, high school, middle school? What are we talking here?
It's elementary and middle, a K to 8.
Okay. So, school nurse, what do you actually have to be a nurse, or can you be like a
maintenance man?
No.
Is that what you mean? Like a health? You could be like health and driver's ed.
Well, I mean, like if you can get your like paramedic.
Now you're going to get the emails.
Yeah,
Well,
there's a lot of different licensures that you can get that will fall under that.
What's funny is that Tom doesn't get the emails from the mad paramedics. It's me. I get the ones that are like, just a paramedic.
Well, I'm just saying.
I'm out there scraping brains off the street.
Like like what's the first one where you're not even a paramedic?
EMT.
EMT. So that's like only 2 semesters at
Dervi.
at Everest. Which you don't have to climb anything at Everest.
It's the first step.
You just have to open a door to a building that's in shambles. But so
open this door with a leaky roof.
so what qualification do you have to even get to become a school nurse?
Licensed practical nurse is good.
Okay.
Is that hard
But
to
there's
do?
there's a lot of licensures. Different schools accept different licensures. Different counties have different rules.
So when, as a school nurse, what are like 95?
You're third in charge. Like if principal dies and assistant principal dies, it goes school nurse.
Oh, it's like the Speaker of the House.
It's just like that. You never see them ride the same bus at the same time. It's usually principal, vice principal, separate buses. School nurse is usually in her own car.
Then you'd think it'd go to a teacher, but it's a head lunch lady.
Yeah. It goes school nurse, lunch lady.
So what are like 95% of the things you're doing as a school nurse?
People are losing their teeth all day long. So it's teeth and tampons.
That was the original name of the show. The original name of the show was Teeth and Tampons, and I was Teeth.
I almost cursed that. So the tampons threw me for a loop here because I thought that came after you graduated, like high school.
That's a college thing. Tampons, that's a college level.
So they can start as young as 8 for a maxi pad, and then I have them.
Stop it! I have to hang up on you now.
Oh my God!
My daughter's 8.
They're just a baby.
Yeah, it is just a baby.
Shayla.
I kissed her head this morning. It smelled like lilacs.
I didn't do it, Tom.
Well, God did it. Anyway,
it's the only time he's admitted God, guys. Circle that on your calendar.
so when kids lose a tooth, do they automatically go to the school nurse? Because I feel like when I was a kid in elementary school, I'd lose teeth. I'd just put them in my pocket.
Yeah, you just put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
You tell your teacher, and your teacher would be like, oh, okay, that's cool. Here, we'll wrap it in a paper towel. You put it in your pocket till you get home.
Yeah.
So I have a little tooth box that's shaped like a little happy tooth, and they really like to get one and take it home. Plus, I was super popular, almost like a mascot over at my school. So sometimes they just wanted to come and tell me, what was going on.
Yeah, go show the nurse. Go check out her boobies and show her my tooth.
Come on. There's elementary school. I guess the middle school, the tampon. Anyway, so what's the? Is there anything dangerous you ever have to deal with? Like I know. Every year, and we forgot to pick it up too. Our damn EpiPen for Tommy's.
You can use mine on my.
No,
mine's expired, but it's fine.
Yeah. All of ours are expired too. I said the school doesn't let you. Even though I tell them, I'm like, hey, they say it's expired, but it'll still work. They're like, you have to bring in a non-expired one. I'm like, oh God,
just change the date yourself.
Anyway,
that's a bad parent.
So like allergic reactions. Have you ever had to deal with anything serious in your time as a school nurse?
Oh, yes, absolutely. There's been a lot of serious things. Allergic reactions, of course, anaphylaxis, EpiPens, seizures that resulted in falls. I had a seizure once where someone had actually climbed up to the top of the monkey bars. No one was paying attention, and then had a seizure there, and I had to actually get that person down while they were seizing and lower them all the way to the mulch, and then start some emergency care at that point.
Holy smokes.
There's been compound fractures where bones have come right out of the skin. Jumping off swings is not recommended by anyone. So there's been definitely some very serious and life-threatening keeping people alive. I would say probably about 13 children walk the earth due to the work that I've done.
Oh, wow.
Nice. That's awesome.
So
I think we've only done bad.
So the now when like as a school nurse, is there a backup or someone underneath you in case like if you miss for being sick or whatever?
Backup. Like if it's bad, you're like, I need backup.
Because there's only one nurse on duty per school, right? Or is there multiple?
Mm-hmm. No, there's usually only one, and no, the backup plan is usually 911. That's really the only backup plan that there is. I did not miss school, so my school would not have known what to do.
So you never missed a day? You're a good employee.
Well, in 13 years, I missed 4 days total.
Wow.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So,
But who died on those 4 days would be my question.
well,
My husband, Dan.
oh my God!
Yikes.
Oh, they're all 4 days because your husband passed.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I didn't
Why'd
mean
you
to-
bring it
yeah,
up?
I didn't mean to ask that. Yeah, I was
He
just-
meant the
yeah.
kids.
Yeah, I did. Thank
He was
you.
making a kid death joke, not your husband.
I would never make a husband death joke. Jesus Christ.
So, sorry.
wrong with
Either,
you?
either way, that's
What's
the only way I
wrong
would take
with
off.
you?
But
So,
there are a lot of medical conditions too, like feeding tubes and oxygen and things you
Right.
might not think of that small people deal with.
Yeah, and you're kind of the only one there and is it up to you to help some of the teachers that have kids that need that help, or are you kind of helping to teach them what to do, or?
Absolutely, but mostly it still falls on me. They will take a small course on individualistic care for illnesses and managing conditions, but mostly I would still step into the classroom, check sugar right there while someone was taking a test, that sort of thing.
Gotcha.
So Shayla, I'm curious. So most of the days, I imagine, besides from and Daniel brought this point up of how, a lot of kids are just, want to go home, and so
I still have vivid memories of my friends coming to me and being like, "Hey, man, I'm going to go to the school nurse and tell her I'm sick." I have memories of them. And they're like, I'm going to tell her I'm sick, and my mom and dad are going to come pick me up. And I'd be like, damn, my mom will never do that because she's a teacher and she knows my BS. And it will not, it's just not going to happen. And I remember how envious I was of those kids.
So is that a lot of your day, or when you were a school nurse, is just kids, pretending to be sick so they can go home?
Oh, yeah, you get lied to a whole lot. Getting lied to is a big part of it.
And what's the protocol? Because me and Daniel were talking about that.
I think you're right, because I was like, the days are over that you go to the office, you say, hey, I feel sick, and then the teacher's like, or the school nurse is like, okay, let's take your temperature. No temperature. You feel fine. You look fine. I think you should go back to class. That's not a thing anymore, right?
No, I do that. That's it, really. I just kind of you kind of have to make a judgment call all day long on someone's health, and sometimes you make the wrong one. I send little Dan back to class, and he vomits all over the teacher's carpet.
Gagman's here.
It's not good.
Yeah.
But yes, after COVID, of course, things changed a bit. I'll call parents more frequently and say, hey, so-and-so's not feeling so good, so do you think you could come and get them? Just so that no one else gets sick. And that sentence holds a lot more weight than it used to than before 2020.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. That's an interesting take. Yeah.
Because I was telling Daniel before this, I was like, I bet because there could be, the kid could be sick, and if it doesn't look sick, you send them back, and they do puke or have another problem, then it could fall back on you. Yeah. So
parents are not litigious at all.
And to play it safe, I bet the protocol is just send them home if they say they're sick. But that's pretty interesting. I didn't know if they don't look sick, you send them back, especially if they're a repeat offender, right? I bet there's some kids that just pull it all the time, right? You've got your frequent flyers. You've got your folks that
that's what the cops
will
say.
come in just for a temp check every single day, just to see if they can possibly get out. Little people, like the littlest ones, some of them come in and literally just fall asleep. They need a nap. They're not quite old enough, maybe at 5, to make it. So sometimes there is a little bit of gatekeeping. I'm supposed to make sure that they can learn. If I was sending them home every time they came in, I wouldn't want them to miss that much school and not actually get their education due to the fact that they're not really sick, but they're in my office. The teacher sends them. I try to fix them up as well as I can and send them back to class so they can go do the good stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, that you mentioned that. I like your take on my mom would mention to me when she was teaching that a lot of the littles, like she's saying, like the adjustment to getting into school, some of them aren't ready yet, and they will just fall asleep wherever they're at.
Yeah.
My mom would end up babysitting like this kid. She's like, well, you're just going to let him sleep. Because
he's just a baby.
Yeah, he's literally a child.
And are you allowed, I guess you have to have their medication on file to administer any sort of medication. But can you give Advil or anything like that, or nothing?
Same thing as the EpiPen. You can give Advil, but the parent has to have brought it, filled out the form, and then let me know what they would want it to be used for. And so if it was something like an as-needed situation, it would kind of need to be pre-established that so-and-so maybe gets a lot of headaches, or maybe they have a lot of times when, or maybe they just recently had dental work. So they're going to be able to take Tylenol once a day for 7 days at school, and the parent would bring that in and sign off on that with me so that I could administer the right amount at the right time, and then discontinue after.
So what if, like, a day goes by and there's no kids really come to see you or whatever? Like, what? How do you, like, or how did you fill your day?
You have to start get sick. You have to start planting the virus.
Okay. Well, let me say this about that. The baseline was 19. 19 students needed treatment throughout the day before anything happened. So there really wasn't a day when there was no one, because there was scheduled ADHD medication, scheduled inhalers,
Nice.
Folks on nutrition plans where they needed to, have nutrition supplementation, folks who had meds or medical conditions, oxygen, feeding tubes, things that diabetic treatment. So those folks would already give you, in the 6-hour period, you were going to see 19 kids. Like, that was just kind of like, that's zero. 19 is zero. If every single one of those kids was absent, then I wouldn't have had anyone, and that never occurred. The rest of my day is just making ice packs for folks that don't need it, or
That's me.
think they do.
Yeah.
But ice pack is like the currency of the school nurse.
I love an ice pack.
Yeah, come on in and get an ice pack. Sounds good. Oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. Have a better day.
Yeah. Ice pack can solve a lot of problems, man.
You know, throughout my entire time in school, never saw the school nurse one time.
Maybe once. Maybe once for me.
I didn't either. Honestly, I'd never met the school nurse until one time my shorts were too short, and they sent me to get a change of clothes.
Hey, girl, hey.
I remember
Showing off them cheekers.
I remember in middle school they used to do that. They'd have like a bag of
old
like
granny clothes.
Yeah.
My mom contributed to that bag. She's like, we need to put some more modest shorts in
When
here.
the girls would show up in like boxers, because that was a thing.
Yeah,
in
and then
middle school.
they'd roll up the legs.
And
They'd roll up the legs. Oh, I lived for
they'd
it.
make them put on some pantaloons or whatever they had, some old granny shorts.
Put on these sweat shorts.
So, what does a school nurse make, Shayla?
Oh, my gosh. It's not very much money at all. I don't think I should get into that part.
Oh,
well, hold on. Let's just say
she's paid in smiles, Tom.
Above 40?
No.
We'll let that sit then. I think we can let that sit. Holy smokes.
Yeah. Because
you're doing it it's pretty, well, you think about it, like you are on the line of defense for checking out something that could be bad. You're on the line of defense for like rapid fever or, dehydration or...
Yeah, if you asked how much I was getting paid, like in the amount of responsibility, then it was like a lot of responsibility.
Sure.
Especially during those COVID times, because I'd have to quarantine you and your whole family based on my determination at that time on symptoms, symptomatic or not.
Damn.
You've got to take your daughter to go get a test now, so you have to be off work, and then if she has it, you're quarantining for 5 days. She's missing school. She's online school. All of those things started with my determination on whether or not her itchy throat was COVID.
Oh, my God. That must have been a nightmare for all school nurses around the world, trying to, and then...
Nobody wants to decide that.
Well, also,
Okay, but the part that was the hardest really was the contact tracing, because then I'd have to go and say, well, your daughter also rides the bus. She's also in dance or cheer. She also is in that after-school tutoring program, and all of those kids that were within 5 feet, they're also going home.
Did it become like where after a while it was so complicated you're like, I'm done with it?
Yeah, that's what I'm already there, dude. I'm already there.
Because you start going back and then you're contacting everybody on the bus and everybody in the aftercare.
So many phone calls, and everybody loves that phone call.
And then it just happens again and again, and then finally you're just like, I'm not doing it. It's just too much.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's definitely that thought where you're like, oh, they took a field trip last week, and I'm like, I don't think I can get into that.
Yeah. You're just like, when does it end? Like, it becomes impossible.
Yeah, and it's just you making the calls. What's the craziest thing you ever pulled out of somebody's nose or ear?
Ear, the spring from a pen.
Ooh.
All right.
That's a good one. Oh, that could...
Also bugs. Living bugs was, like, probably the weirdest, I guess. Like
I've seen those videos where the Puerto Rican grandma pours the water in the ear, and then the cucaracha runs out of her ear. And she's,
I took an ant alive out of an eyeball.
Out of an eyeball?
Oh, my God.
How was it even in there? It was just crawling behind it?
I don't know. It was just doing the backstroke in there. I'm not really sure.
Hold on a second.
A kid had an ant in his eyeball?
What kind of school are you at?
That kid's not going to be president. You get an ant in your eyeball. Like,
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
How did he even get back there?
Why is his voice like that? I can't listen to him.
So, Shayla, how many? Because I can imagine, like, if I'm the driver's ed teacher or the
half health,
PE
half
teacher,
driver's ed,
yeah.
because I'm an assistant football coach.
And so I can imagine that, I know Shayla, I've worked with you for a while. Like, I come by, I'm like, hey, Shayla, can you look at this rash on my legs?
Okay, I'm glad you said legs.
Well,
Yes.
I'm just getting free nurse, treatment from
Coach
the school nurse.
McGuffey's in there showing his thighs. to
No,
you.
not like that. I'm just saying
Constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly people, especially like the bus drivers, would come in and bring me their, like, wound
I think my gout's
discharge
flared.
paperwork. They're like, this is the paperwork from the hospital. I've been discharged.
Help.
And here's the wound care I have to do.
My wound turned black on my ding dong.
Did you have to tell them, like, hey, I'm the nurse for the kids?
This is inappropriate.
Not the entire
No.
staff?
No, I'm total kumbaya. Yeah, like I'm in.
They go in there, they just drop their
yeah.
pants. You're doing full cough examinations. You're doing full,
Then you have to tell them, like, you have cancer.
Oh, yeah. I mean, breast augmentation. I helped all the ladies with their breast augmentation healing.
Yeah.
I would get to do their wound
She's
care.
scheduling chemo out of her office for people.
Their breast augmentation. So Shayla, let's move on to your current job, which is basically assisting blind kids, which is pretty awesome. What made you decide to make the change?
So I have worked this as a second job for 5 years, and I have also volunteered with the company that I'm with that works with blind children for another 8 years. So I just decided to take this on full time because school nurses are losing funding and actually getting their hours and pay cut this year. That's going to be kind of a thing in a couple of counties. And in the county I was in, I wasn't going to be able to maintain with that school nurse money and the second job. So the money assisting the blind children on field trips, and I also work with elderly blind, it pays a bit more here. So I moved over to doing this full time. And we take 30 canes out to Universal Studios and help blind teens and children get on rides and do the thing.
Canes?
Let's hold on before we move on.
White cane with a red tip.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Sorry.
Let me take this time to thank the government, and I'm going to put all of society in this as well because society can vote on this. I'm pretty sure they can change. Well, I'm just saying, people like Shayla, who seems to be a great school nurse that was taking her job seriously.
Very calm.
Only missed 4 days and an insane amount of time of
tough.
work.
She's very tough.
She was
Seems to
hustling.
care about the kiddos.
She is now gone because paying is too little.
Yeah.
So she is
Dude,
gone.
that's why my mom quit teaching.
And then now someone else has to take her place, willing to accept lower pay. This
Won't
is
be as
where
cool.
we're at.
Won't be as cool.
And I'm sure all that government money is going to some other giant waste.
Of course.
Because
Well, it's already been allotted. It's already gone someplace else. What are you talking about?
Build more gunships. I don't know.
Can never go back.
Anyway, so let's talk about how.
What's the hardest part about getting 30 blind teens to experience Universal?
So we have a fleet of vehicles, and we'll pick them up all over the place, from Brevard all the way to Flagler County, and then we'll all meet somewhere. We go to WonderWorks, we go to the movies, we go to educational things. Sometimes we just go to places like the grocery store or the bank because they need to learn about this stuff.
Gotcha.
It's about orientating them into new places, getting them exposed to things they wouldn't be exposed to.
Yeah, just getting comfortable with it, right? Like getting out there and just doing it.
I would say the hardest part is just giving them that other 90%. They say that when you can't see, you're missing 90% of what's going on. Only 10% comes from the other senses. So just filling in those blanks. I've become very good at explaining things, telling people what Seuss Land looks like, Having them feel some of the stuffed animals and then saying, like, that's what all the creatures here look like. This is what the place is trying to show. It's a small world, and having them hear that annoying song, but me explaining all the countries as we ride by.
Yeah.
So I've just been really good at detail explaining things and just become really good at filling in the blanks is what I like to think of it in my head. Let me fill in the blanks here. Why are there ropes that we have to walk through to go in line? I don't understand. And then I explain to them what 50,000 people might look like or 500,000.
Or even feel like once they're in it, right? Like they probably experience some of that body heat and that uncomfortability of having people on you. Like, I don't even like that. Like this is really cool because what I'm thinking of right now, what's so crazy is I know people right now that are not impaired in any way, like that have their sight, that could use a class on confidence. You know what I mean? Like, and being able to navigate life. So the fact that you're able to give these people something as simple as the confidence to navigate Publix, I've never thought about that. That's huge, man.
And they make them wait in line. They don't you're going through the exit right up to the back. I've been on the tour before.
They're doing it. They got to do it like everybody else.
Some places accommodate with like a silver platter, and other places are like, y'all be fine.
Sweat your cane off out here. You're going to be out here a minute. You might want to get some more moose juice because we're going to be out here a minute.
So, is part of the education learning Braille and things like that, or is that in
Braille?
the regular?
Braille comes from school. But we will use, if Braille is something that if we have Braille readers with us, then we will make them sometimes we do little treasure map type things. We like to go to Tanger and do scavenger hunts that get the kids exposed to different scenarios. Like go in and have a clerk help you find a size, XL shirt, and then when we write that, we will Braille that for them so that they can read the clues and questions on their own and have an adult with them to chaperone as they navigate and learn to.
That's practical, too. Like having them go in and have to navigate a customer service rep. That's great.
Shayla, let me ask you. I can imagine, how people talk about the generation of kids now. They're all with texting each other. They're going out less. Instead of having
it's just a different form of communication.
They can hang out with their friends online instead of having to ride their bike to their friend's house. It's just it's easier just jump online and play video games with their friends online.
Well, look at how assertive they are online. It's just replaced itself.
So I can imagine if you are, visually impaired, it's easier now than it ever has been ordering stuff on Amazon. You could voice order things on Amazon and stuff, but so is there a problem with, it's easier for visually impaired people to live in our society because you could order everything online, everything can come directly to your house or whatever, but then you're missing the experience or
the human aspect,
the practice of going to stores and going to the mall or going to places and buying things and interacting in public. And do you run the risk of being a recluse all of a sudden because you can do everything online from your house, voice activated, and then you never really experience the outside world?
Well, that's interesting. It's a good question because convenience has given us all the ability to hermit and go hide, right? You don't necessarily have to have the interactions. The thing with technology that is awesome is these folks are now able to get themselves an Uber. They can also, like you said, order in food, order in full meals of groceries, everything from Amazon, and that's awesome. But something with the impairment itself makes them strive to want to know in a worldly way what everyone else is able to experience just by looking. And even though these teens are in that age where they might just crave, voice texting and they'd be happy just to do that, they don't like the idea that they would have missed out or not have ever been exposed to something that everyone else just knows about. Everyone knows about walking into 7-Eleven and grabbing a Laffy Taffy and going out. But if you don't show these kids, they don't have that. And they do want it. They want to know what it is. They even want to know things about driving, something that they'll never do. We've taken them to car shows with white gloves and allowed them to feel everything from the Model A's of 1908 all the way up to the Corvettes of now. And let them sit in cars and check it out because they just don't know. I have them pump gas when they ride in my bus. I'm like, who wants to pump? Come on. Because they don't know. They're never going to be exposed to that.
More
and now
is more.
They know one more thing. They know one more thing that everybody else knows, and that to them makes them, we don't typically use the word normal, but that makes them more normal and more integrated into society, and they dig it.
Yeah, the more you can do, the better. Man, that is... Shayla, this is dope. What a cool... I can kind of see why you wanted to shift your job to this new job. This is really neat.
Also,
awesome.
there may be a time, and who knows, but when technology gets so good that these kids will be able to get into their Tesla and have their Tesla drive them wherever,
close,
you know,
dude.
like
it's pretty close.
I mean, Daniel,
I haven't driven in forever, and it doesn't really mess up anymore. I'll give you the updates. I'll tell you guys when it's bad.
You see the fog train,
and it has been bad, but I'll tell you when it's been good. And lately, it has been really, really good.
There was some stupid story I saw that they were like Tesla in self-driving mode didn't see a train in the fog and the driver had to swerve out, and I was like,
well, that's what's supposed to happen.
But it was so foggy. It was in some other country, and it was like crazy foggy, and all of a sudden there's a train going by, and it's like it can't see. Why are you in self-driving in a fog?
Yeah, you're supposed to be driving. Yeah.
Anyway,
Shayla, one more question. Do you find that some of is there a graduation process at all, or do they age out, or do they just maybe come to help you? Do you have any of the kids that you've helped maybe want to continue to do it, or how does that work?
Yes, we definitely have students that eventually become employees, volunteers, and other levels of working within the blindness community, because here in Daytona, where I live, there's a huge blind community here, and there are plenty of jobs. There's a talking book library, one of I think it is the largest in our whole state. There's a lot of different things that they can do. So, yes, it often does turn back, but our whole program's goal is to get them either into a vocation or a college.
Shayla, do you? That's
rad.
Because you said you kind of.
It is rad.
You kind of explain to them what you're seeing, so you could, so they can understand where they're at, like with Universal, whatever. Because I would be like this, do you find yourself downplaying what you're seeing so they feel like they're not missing it?
It's cool, but man, sometimes I wish I was blind because it's not that good.
Because I feel like I would be like, technically you're at the beach, but it ain't that good.
Boring. This again.
The water's kind of brown and doo-doo, and then people, they're playing loud
everyone
music.
Around you is disgusting right now.
It's hot, sandy.
Never. I never do that, and I'll tell you why. Because they get on the phone with their parent on the ride back in my bus, and I hear them going, the Hulk ride is the most amazing-looking ride. It goes over water. It has this 500-foot loop, and they explain the words I told them because they didn't experience anything but what I said.
Gotcha.
They didn't ride it, and in things that are like quiet that you really have to explain, like the movie Fantasia. To hear my kids explain back to me what Fantasia looks like is awesome because the colors and the music sync together and they know it based on what I said. So, no, I play everything maybe even more because I'm kind of an excitable person as it is.
Yeah.
But I play things exactly the way it goes, and I deliver to them what is great and what is beautiful, and then obviously if there's a flip side to that, they get that too, in my perspective.
Well, Shayla, you sound like a wonderful human being that our society is lucky to have.
Well, she's been a
working
BDM
with kids. Been
a BDM for quite some time. She's been a favorite BDM for quite some time. And she's been so patient and kind with us in scheduling this up. And this is dope, man.
So,
thank you.
I'm sure you're a millionaire because of this job. Because obviously,
you can hear it.
It's more important than most jobs that most of my friends' jobs, my job,
calling
Daniel's
from
job.
your limousine now, I'm sure, or your driver is driving you around, right?
Or is
absolutely. The driver drives me that drives the bus.
Sometimes, I hear people like Shayla talk about what they do, and I'm like, my God, you are a gift to this world.
Yeah.
And what you are, your dedication to and what you give these kids is unbelievable, and your passion for it.
It's sort of the best reason to do a stupid segment called Weird Job Wednesday is really to highlight people that do stuff like this.
But then I see someone else, some just S-bag of a person who works in sales, who's just making probably
you work in sales
10 times as much as Shayla does. You're just conning people. It's just God, what is our system set up? What are we doing here? Anyway,
I made way more money selling timeshare as far as dollars go. But I make a lot more.
We know.
Yeah, this
Well, you're doing good. You're doing good, but you've also, I bet you've made a ton of friends that you probably even consider family members, and all these people you work with now that you love, and that I bet your support staff and the community of people you have around you now at this new job is probably better than it's ever been.
It's incredible. It really is. I'm very, very lucky.
Well, if you ever need any help, because Tom and I are always looking, if you guys need, I'd love to.
Yeah, any sort of donations or anything, feel free to hit us up.
Yeah, super cool, man. I love what you're doing, and we appreciate you being on Weird Job today.
All right, right on. Thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity. I'll take care.
Thanks, Shayla.
Bye.
We probably, I don't know. Well, she said she didn't want to talk about the actual company she worked for.
She also told us if you were wanting numbers, slightly more than the embarrassingly low number is what she makes now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I don't have any good news for that part, because she said slightly more. She said slightly more, so I guess that is a positive.
Yeah.
But it's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough. If you're taking 30 kids that need to learn how to use their canes, I get it now.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to use that thing. I don't think you can just, you have to have somebody guide you through the process of doing that.
Well, and that's the thing, too. Let's say you have a kid that's visually impaired, and you as a parent, you're not trained in any of this. You don't have any idea how to help this person, help your kid the best way, so you need someone like Shayla and the company she works for to help them, and, because you got to learn how to live like that, so.
Good thing for her, man. She makes it, she also makes it sound fun and easy, which I'm sure it's not.
Oh, no.
I'm sure it's very difficult. I'm sure it's very trying.
She has the passion to help people.
You got to have patience. You got to have heart and love. You got to have a ton of love, and we
need to incentivize the people that have the passion to help people to get into jobs
like this. If you're helping humans, you should have a helping human pay rate. Automatically, you just get an extra 20% right off the top.
Yeah, and
no matter what, you get an extra amount because you're helping humans.
I know it's complicated, but as a society, I figured I'll, if my tax money went a portion to people who like to help people.
My taxes are so far behind.
I
haven't paid my taxes in years. They're coming to get me. Will they come to get my daughter?
No, it has nothing to do. They'll put you in jail.
That's fine.
That's fine. Actually, they won't even put you in jail. They'll be like, "What?" and then they'll just make you pay it back, unless it's egregious and you're like, "I did it on purpose."
Yeah.
Then they make an example out of you. But
gotcha.
If you just I didn't know what I was doing, they just put you on a plan. Anyway,
gotcha.
Let's do a couple voicemail. All right, do one voicemail.
You want to do one? All right, let's see if this thing will fire up the way it should. If you'd like to leave us a voicemail message, yes.
Before we do that,
please.
Let me ask you a question I saw.
Yeah. I like it when you tangent.
So I saw this on TikTok. If you are born deaf, right?
Yes.
What language do you think in? And this
oh my God, this is oh my God, here we go. If you're born deaf, what language? Oh, I would imagine the language you learn to read.
But it would be
so based on any country, right? It'd be the language you learn to read.
Yeah. Well, that's a stupid question.
Wait a minute, did I blow your mind with the most easiest, most logical thing? So you don't think I'm you never think I'm logical. I give you a little bit of logic.
Deaf and blind.
I thought you wanted to hug me. That's the only thing I've ever said that you were like, oh, he's got a point
deaf
there.
And blind. Of course, it'd be the language you learn to read.
You're looking at me like, how does he know? How did he know?
Maybe it was deaf and blind. And then what language do you think in?
Okay,
maybe you think in Braille.
Then I guess
you think in Braille, right?
Yeah, but Braille would still be.
It would be no audio.
Yeah, there would be no audio. Yeah, you're right.
It would just be. You would just think, you think from your fingers.
I don't want to think. I already think from my fingers. My fingers get me into a lot of trouble.
You know what?
These are my trouble fingers.
I regret stopping you from finding a voicemail. The first time I ever regretted.
I have one. I have one right here.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Hey, Tom and Dan, I'm watching On Patrol Live, and this man who works for the police says he's responding to a call of a woman bleeding and screaming in a Captain D's parking lot. And my wife kind of was like, what? What are you saying? I'm like, Captain D's?
Did we already do this one?
I think we talked about it. I didn't
Arthur Treacher's Captain D.
Yeah.
God, I'm
No,
doing it again.
that's fine.
See, I regret that you powered through with a goddamn voicemail.
Two
You were
regrets.
right. You were right the first time.
No, I was wrong. You were wrong.
Okay, I
Both wrong.
You want to get out of here, or we should make it better? You think we can make it better? You gambling man? You think we can do it? I think we can do it. Here we go. Let's try this one.
Hey guys, it's Bubble Bath Billy. Keep it short and sweet. I was walking through the Castleberry Lowe's, and I'm not going to name any names, but I saw a guy zooming in on Tiffany's birthday beach pictures. So the question is, which one of you guys looked at those longer?
I know that man. Yeah, I know the man you may have saw at the Castleberry Lowe's zooming in on Tiffany's birthday beach pictures.
No. So what is he saying? I did that?
I've noticed that you leave the Salty Sisters Facebook page up on your desk. On your desk a lot.
No.
A lot.
Don't say that.
A mother.
Has
two children.
No. This guy said that.
I believe she's on the city of Cocoa. She's on the board now.
On the council. The Cocoa Council.
She's on the Cocoa Council. She's on the Cocoa Council.
Listen, I imagine someone like Tiffany who has to, do a lot of hard work to be as fit as she is right now.
Do you like it when people look at your new body?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right. I'm glad.
I would put more pictures up.
You should.
Yeah.
You should.
And then I would, tiny shorts, and I'll put as many.
You should. You should put them all up.
I like people lusting after me.
Okay.
I don't know if you know.
I know.
I like them saying,
I know. It's the reason you ran Samantha off your quest for lust.
Yeah.
It was the quest for lust.
It's an ultimate form of compliment, right?
The quest for lust?
If someone's like lusting after their photos.
Well, lust isn't harsh, though. Lust is like...
yeah. But and for me, I don't care who does it. If they're a human being. Yeah.
What if it's an
they're
animal?
an animal. That's fine, too.
I'm that way, too.
Like, imagine if animals got horny over humans.
Wow, write that down, guys. Is this helping or hurting
I think the dolphins do that.
I like how we ended the Wednesday show with Tom going, hey, having sex with animals isn't that bad. Tom bad.
No, I didn't say that. I just said imagine if they'd be...
And then under your breath, you said, that'd be pretty cool. Let's get out of here.
Okay, I shouldn't have said any of this.
No voicemails. Cut all this out, Casey.
Bye-bye.
It is a corporate time with Tom and Dan.
I'm Tom.
I am Dan, sitting in a chair with a back because he has problems with his back, is our very good friend, photographer, skateboarder, and all-around creative genius, Tony Mongiette.
Hello, kids. I'm feeling older and older every day.
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. No. You were doing an old man. I didn't know what you were doing. I had no idea what he's doing.
So he's
my God, he fell right into improv.
I had an idea last night of doing stretches before going to bed. I thought I was like, is that a thing?
Yeah,
like,
it absolutely
is that better for you? Does it help you sleep better or whatever?
That's a thing.
I found these really basic stretches for before bed. And I realized no. It was like a handsome guy.
Andrea's grandma and would stretch before getting into bed and after getting out of bed and lived to be 100.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I found out that I have zero elasticity.
Yeah.
And I almost hurt myself really badly just trying.
Were you overdoing it?
No, I just couldn't get into the positions.
Well, hold on. You have to be more like elastic.
Well, that's what I thought.
I've seen you bounce all around.
Yeah, you do a kickflip.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, Bam Margera can do kickflips. No offense. Don't beat me up, bro. But I just thought. By the way, congratulations.
He can barely pull it off nowadays.
You're stepping all over my total congratulations to Bam Margera, who got married immediately following filming a horror movie in Nevada. And congratulations. This seems like one of the more right in line with all the decisions you've made, and happy to both of you.
Yes.
There you go.
So who did he get married to? The lady that was in our
girlfriend.
Cameo
His
video?
girlfriend. And no, the girl from our Cameo video, and they just had completed a horror movie. in Nevada,
New Mexico.
In New Mexico.
New Mexico, I believe.
And and then they got married. And then don't worry, there will be a regular ceremony in Pennsylvania.
I got to meet Bam.
Don't worry.
Somewhat recently, probably like 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And
2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, a Tampa Pro, like the big.
You guys are
skateboard,
stretching together, right?
Yeah, the big. We're comparing kickflips. The big skate contest down in Tampa.
Okay.
And I will say, for a guy who is constantly surrounded by kids wanting to talk to him or whatever, the dude is like super nice.
Oh yeah,
He's extremely nice.
I've never thought he's not nice. I just wish he. Yeah, I think everybody looks at him, and we all like. If you did appreciate him, you look at him, and you're like, oh, please don't die. Like, right? I feel like that's what everybody's doing.
But the guy was like nothing but smiles. He was giving everybody time to talk to them, getting photos, signing things, and like he was the guy when I saw him that day. Out of all the pro skateboarders that are in that spot, one place, he was the one that was getting the most attention because it's Bam Margera.
Oh yeah,
and he was giving people all their time and just being cool.
Yeah, I mean, he gave us one of the longest cameos I've ever received. It had nothing to do with what we asked him to do, but I mean, it was great.
Well, first, he's been famous for a long time, so he's had a lot of practice interacting with people, and I think he enjoys it.
I do, too.
And I also think, and this may be a D-head thing to say, but I think he's kind of a simpler man. The genetics would say, you know, you got Don Vito and his dad. We talked about seem like simple men, right?
We talked about this on Friday a little bit when we talked about, which is weird.
No offense.
We don't. No, none taken. We were talking about Jojo Siwa. Do you think there's an element of that? Somebody emailed us and said that there's a theory about celebrities that when they peak, sometimes if it aligns with their adolescence, that when they
get
peak,
stuck there.
They get stuck there.
Yeah.
And I think that with both JoJo, who drives a car with 100 versions of her face on it, and you know you're seeing what she's doing now, and you look at Bam, another variation of that. I think that he got to a point where he was like rich, jumping off the building, heartogram tattoo on his pappus, money, Bentleys, and then it just stopped there, and now it will stay there until the end.
Oh, he's frozen in time as a teenager.
Yes.
Yeah, and he never really grew up or, you know, had to go through becoming an adult and all those response. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just got rich when he's a teenager, essentially, and then just got frozen there, became an addict, and now is just dealing with that.
Right.
Like, if he can keep himself sober, then he should be fine.
And I think he is sober right now. At least from what people are saying, that's what they're saying. But, I mean, some of the decisions, I would say getting married immediately following completing a horror movie away from your family doesn't align yourself with normality, but if you're living your best life, I say do it.
Well, look what Steve-O is doing as compared to Bam. Like, Steve-O, in all, I don't know, but from the social media and from seeing him on, all the reels, it seems like he takes his sobriety and, like, to the T of what you're supposed to do with professionals tell you, like AA and doing all the process and, like,
even the annoyances of it with, like, hey, man, can you put that out? I'm recovering.
Focusing on health.
Which I get it. I get it.
Exercise. Apparently, he's running a triathlon, too. I just saw
I've been watching that. Yeah. Apparently, when you get sober and boring, you run triathlon.
I was like, no, Steve-O! I was disappointed, and then I was like, oh.
Wait, you're both from Miami?
Yeah. The only difference is his teeth are bright white.
God damn it.
I
got big old veneers.
have a whole roast of you and Steve-O prepared for the triathlon.
Boy, I need to get the big Steve-O's.
The chiclets.
Yeah. The big
Let's
veneers.
Get somebody in here to it. You have great teeth.
I coffee all over.
Let's whiten them, man. Let me whiten your teeth.
Well, I looked up teeth whitening.
Will you let me whiten your teeth?
There's problems here with
First, you got to get the spinach and bread out of them.
Yeah. So the problem is that some of my teeth have been chipped, and then
mine too. I didn't even know it. I've chipped my teeth from grinding. My anxiety has ruined my teeth. I don't have any back teeth. I'm like Dog the Bounty Hunter. I don't have any back teeth. They're back. I reach back there. All this back there is empty cans of bear mace.
No. So the front of my teeth,
no back teeth.
I got it.
Ask Andrea.
I chipped them in like some sort of stunt a long time ago, and then another one. And then I chipped one wrestling with my sons. Anyway, so
that's what good rednecks do.
You just have weak teeth.
One of our interns, we had an intern that had coquina teeth.
What?
Where if she could just be eating food and her teeth would she'd just start eating her teeth because they're so brittle.
Yeah. They get brittle teeth.
Yeah, she had really brittle teeth, and she was like, "I'm gonna have to have all."
Is that really called?
It's a real
coquina
teeth, and she was like, "I'll have to have all my teeth replaced by the time I'm 25," and she was like 19.
Yeah. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
luckily, we have modern technology, and you can get the big old Steve-O's.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I asked.
She died.
I asked my dentist,
She did.
Dr. Sutton from Dapper Dental, which is a
Wait a minute!
great
I feel like you're trying
dentist
to
office.
do something to get some freebies.
Yeah. Well, he was going to be like, "Hey, I'll get whiten your teeth if you talk about me." I'm like, "I can do it."
A little extra gas here.
But then he's like, "Oh, well, you have like some
there's
half
food all in here.
No, half
You need to
fake
brush
teeth.
these things.
Because they've been repaired half." He's like the fake side won't whiten the same as the real side.
Ooh, you'll have two-faced teeth.
So if you
Batman
so
two-faced
if
teeth.
you whiten your
The
teeth,
yin and yang of teeth.
they're gonna look worse.
Yeah, that's called the before and after.
And I'm like, God damn it! I'm like, my business partner makes fun of my yellow teeth. Like,
I do not. That is not true. I do not make fun of your yellow
he
teeth.
calls me
Mine are just as yellow, dude.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
No,
they are.
You got good teeth.
They're yellow though.
No.
They're yellow.
I'm like,
because I'm afraid to get them white because then you end up looking like you end up looking like Ross from Friends.
Yes, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
but that's what celebrities do. They, and you could get them a little bit white, like they have.
But it looks fake. Like I know people here in town that are celebrities that they get it done, and it looks like you have one big tooth.
No, that's those bright.
I don't want the
veneers are kind of so white they're almost blue.
You look like My Fairy Odd Parents. You like Timmy Turner teeth.
What's the manager? I think it was a Liverpool football club manager that has like a really big set of white teeth.
Yeah, that's what you want.
No, I don't like that.
That is some yellow ass Gibsons.
No, you don't want yellow Gibsons, but you want somewhere in the middle, dude. You don't want cadaver teeth.
Well, they got different shades.
Yeah, you can pick your shade.
No. Well, that's with veneers, but I'm just saying with the regular teeth whitening, you just put in the trays. I got the trays at home. He gave them to me. He's like, here are the trays, but if they're going to whiten half and half. And they're like, oh, God
you
damn
can do
it.
if you want to.
And then I was like, well, screw it.
Don't look at me. I'm an animal.
And then I was just like, I'll just get veneers.
Right now, I'll knock them out.
And then Crystal's like, don't get your big Busey veneers.
Oh, God.
And
Running
she's like,
marathons with big Busey veneers.
She's like, I won't love you anymore.
You should get gold teeth. Like all gold.
I want gold
I'm
teeth.
not going to do that.
I asked Andrea to let me get one gold tooth, like in the front. Like
you're missing
where I
the
look
back.
like
Why would you do that?
I want one gold tooth in the front, so I look like a British rapper.
You look like a fool.
All British rappers are like, you catch me on the street, and you're looking at my feet. I'm British rapper. Gold teeth. Catch me on the street. Hey,
They look like a fool.
Hey, mate, British rapper. You catch me on the street, I'll put you in the meat. British rapper. That's a new character I'm working on.
I like it.
But that's a very hip style of music right now. The
British rapper?
the kind of Cockney white guy British rapper.
Adidas wearing.
Yeah. He's like, I look racist, but I'm not British rapper, right?
Yeah.
So, Tony, going back to you went out to the Tampa, what competition?
Tampa
was it?
Pro.
Oh,
Tampa
tell
Pro.
Grandpa about what you did this week.
Grandpa Pro.
And I saw some of your pictures.
Yeah.
There was some famous skateboard. Who else besides Majero was out there?
Majera.
Majero.
Let's see.
You have a little piece of food
No.
dead sitting in your mouth. No, dead sitting in your lip, dude.
Yeah, it's hanging on your
Yeah,
black
it's
tooth.
hanging on your lip like a grandpa eating egg salad.
My lips are numb.
All old people have a little bit of egg salad on the side of their mouth, and they're trying to tell
damn
you
it.
about the war, and you're like, oh my
and
god.
a black tooth. It's I mean, you'll get, obviously, it's like probably the biggest contest that we still hold. We in the U.S. It's the Tampa Pros every year down at the skate park of Tampa, and skaters fly from all over the world. You get your current guys, your Shane O'Neills, your whoever's current right now, but then you have your older pro skateboarders.
What do they come for? Just to market themselves or like sell? Because I'm sure they all have side businesses with skateboards and things.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, it's a big, it's almost like a big cruise in a way. Like, it lasts
Convention,
like,
right.
pretty much. It lasts like the whole week almost. Like, I think it starts on Thursday and it goes all the way. The finals are on Sunday, but then during the events, there's like after parties and then there's different kinds of events that are sponsored by different, like the Monster bowl competition or whatever. So it's like a whole weekend thing, and you'll have guys. I think this year, because now Tampa added a new vert ramp like they used to have back in the day. Now they put a huge vert ramp outside. So you guys, I think Tony Hawk was there, Andy McDonald was there, all these like Bucky Lasik, like all those guys.
A lot of guys that I know.
Exactly. So obviously there's the new kids as
so
well.
They're doing the nostalgia thing too. Like everybody's doing it.
Yeah. And it's amazing that some of those guys can still skate as well as they can to be in their like early 50s now.
The Tony Hawk thing is the weirdest to me, only because of if you really go back to when he started. It's kind of like, not to make a comparison, but like I started at Real Radio at 19. I'm 47.
Yeah.
When you think about it in those terms, it becomes a little immersively gross almost. It's like, don't you want to do something else? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like Tony Hawk has been, I still remember watching Animal Chin and seeing like floppy blonde-haired boy.
But with all of his injuries over time, like he must have really taken care of his body, which you never really hear him talk about because
I bet you didn't. I bet it's just straight genetic roll of the dice.
He's got to have at least done some workout regimen.
No, I'm going with years. Well, I'm sure a little bit, but I'm going with the Tom Van on this one, and I'm going to say that this was. His parents were in good health. He's going to live to be about the same age as his parents. That's why I know I'm going to die at 66.
He eats probably pretty well.
He broke, I want to say, his femur, and this is probably like 2 or 3 years ago or something like that. And he was back on the board in like 4 months or something, or
that's
like 2
insane.
or 3. It was some crazy like that.
Because for you break your femur at an older age, even middle age, what was he? Probably in his late 40s or early?
This is like 50s. Recently. He's like 50 something, like 55, 56 or whatever.
And that takes a long time to heal just as a human body in your 50s, and then for you to get back on a skateboard and put that much pressure, that's insane.
Like I have heat bumps on my ass that I've had for 6 months in the same spot. They're not healing. I'm kidding. I'm just screwing around. I'm sorry.
It's pretty crazy.
Tony was looking at me like, "Oh my god!"
I mean, you are the Tony Hawk of podcasting.
I am. They call me that.
I mean, Moonjet can't even sit on the couch.
I didn't say that. I did not say that.
Tony Hawk is still doing
Tony Soft
540s.
All right, Chip.
I've done nothing.
I'm just pointing at each other. Your teeth are yellow.
I just pointed out a fact. So now who is considered like, I guess, the best competition skateboarder nowadays? I don't even.
Can I make Tony
idea
mad for a second? I'm gonna bring up something I don't think he likes.
What?
Because I think you mentioned this, and it is about skating. You're not a big fan of the new guys that do all the crazy. Like, there's this really like transcendental meditation Middle Eastern looking dude that wears like 70s flared pants and everything. And he does these crazy tricks where like the board will float next to him, it'll land on the ground, it'll ride next to him, then it'll flip over 3 times and then he lands on it. And he looks like a genie. It's like a genie.
I think he's a Brazilian guy.
He's amazing, but it's definitely old school. It's old. It's
Rodney Mullen back in he's doing all like
I think
grinding on the grip.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know because I get sent
it looks
videos
like magic
on the daily.
Like for instance, because
I bet he's huge on social media too.
He looks like a social guy, but he runs to do like a typical rail slide, right? And he's riding that, but when he goes up to do it, the board rides the rail, and he's just walking. And then he like kicks it over again, and it'll do like 3 somersaults, and then he lands on it.
Right.
It's crazy.
Which for people that don't skate, it's pretty impressive. Not that it's not impressive. I'm going to say it is impressive.
Right.
But for people that do skate, that like more stylish, more I don't want to say old school.
He's clowning around.
Exactly.
All right, I knew.
I've heard you mention this before. Yeah. And see, I like it. I share it all the time. But every time I share one of these guys, and he's got a big, crazy Middle Eastern, like he's got like a big. He looks like a Sikh. He looks like a Sikh.
You know what it reminds me of?
He's awesome though.
It's because this looks impressive to the non-skateboarder. skateboarder, but for the skateboarder, they don't like it, is the move or the trick where you jump over either some chain or some sort of thing, and then the skateboard is still going underneath. You land on top of it, like you jump over some guardrail or whatever. And
I couldn't do it.
And then we're all like, "Whoa!"
That's called a hippie jump.
A regular skateboarder's like, "That's stupid. You need the skateboarder to come with you." That's what the hard part. Ollie over it. Don't jump and let the skateboarder go underneath. But we all like, "Yay!" But the skateboarders are like,
I think both have their place. I think both have their place.
Yeah, but I could see like traditional skateboarders getting mad at like TikTok skateboarders.
And his tricks are long.
Yes.
They're long tricks. It's like they're very complicated, almost to the point where you see him do them and you're like, I don't know if you could do that again. I don't know if you could.
And he specializes on doing like obscure, weird stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely out there. He's
It's his
definitely
own style. I love it. That's the one thing I like of. I should give look up his name and actually give him some flowers. But I like his style because it's inherently his.
It is his.
He looks like a Middle Eastern Sikh, and he's got the 70s, right? He wears crazy 70s clothing. Like he'll wear purple leather pants with a flare bottom,
right.
And he's doing the tricks, and I'm like, I kind of root for it all the time because I'm like, this is so original. I've never seen anything like this.
But as a skater myself,
I get what you're saying.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it's not
I would
for you.
prefer to see a guy do a very nice kickflip, which is probably one of the most basic tricks, over a gap or some stairs, or even on flat ground, as long as it looks stylish. It's more of how you do it, not what you're doing, I guess.
No, I got you. Yeah.
I feel like society and the sport, if you want to call it a sport of skateboarding, is moving away from each other because there's two things involved here. First, all the marketing for skateboarding is all the best tricks and put together on like some sort of reel or whatever, or you're only seeing the best.
It doesn't even have VCR value now. I mean, like it's not even something you go to the shop to buy. You can just open up your phone and boom,
so
best stuff right in your face.
So kids are just scrolling and watching these super hard tricks that took these people years to learn and tried it 10,000 times before they landed it, but all you see is the best, right? So that's disheartening for anybody wanting to try to start, right? So then you got that, and mixed with skateboarding's one of the hardest things to do that you fail 10,000 times before so it takes a ton of perseverance and a ton of discipline and work, and that doesn't seem like a thing that our younger generations want to do.
You mentioned something. You mentioned something that I was watching one of these, like you guys probably get these where you just get random people telling you their theories on things because everybody's an expert on whatever.
Yeah.
But it was a guy that was talking about exactly what you're talking about. He was talking about how social media has made it so hobbies, the people that you see doing any hobby, X, just put a hobby there, are you'll see a lot of the best. So it's discouraging to normos, and then the backlash of that is frustration and negativity on your phone.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he feels like he feels like there's and he's not a doctor or anything, but I found it to be sort of interesting. It's like, pick up your phone. You go to it. Let's say it's horseback riding. You go and you watch this equestrian lady, and she's jumping everything and murdering it. She's so good.
You've seen the best of the best.
And you were thinking about doing equestrian events, and you look at it and you're like, you don't like that, and then you can't do that. So instantly, you have almost like a triggered reaction to F you, lady. It almost makes you hate that person on the surface in social media land, which is not real. But that is not a good response.
There's another side of that it really drives me insane. Especially, I've been skateboarding for over 30 years.
Yeah.
And seeing how social media has turned negativity, has put negativity up in the open for everybody. Everybody can be a weekend keyboard warrior or whatever.
Yeah.
You see so much quality skating or whatever, to where if you see something that isn't as impressive as other things that you might have seen on the day, you tend to hate on it. Especially
it's like you set the bar too high. It's like I open up the phone.
Of course,
and it's an impossible task.
Compilations of the best people in the world doing the best trick that took them 10,000 hours to learn. It's like, okay, well, that ruins every easy trick, which is still hard. Like a regular ollie is insanely hard to
do it correctly.
Yeah.
And who end up suffering, especially nowadays, are women skateboarders. So
I could see that.
Skateboarding, female skateboarding, I mean, in the last
they probably get
5 years has improved like 1,000%, right?
Sure.
But people still give them hate because they're not necessarily at the same quality as, say, the best male pro skateboarders.
Sure.
So they don't see it as an opportunity for more girls to be inspired to start skating. They just see it as, well, this girl is not as good as this guy, so I'm going to hate on it. If you see a post of, say, a professional female skateboarder, right? Say X brand, Blind Skateboards. They make a pro, some girl. The amount of hate that the comments get because they say that she's not worth being professional because she's
not as good.
They just see like the actual skating. They don't see like the bigger picture,
right?
Which is her inspiring other people to start skating.
Yeah, they also can't do a lot of the things she's doing too. That's the number one thing. Yeah, no one. You're not doing that. You weren't good enough to be sponsored. You weren't sponsored by that woman.
It's so easy just to make and then you do it because that the joke hate, or even if it's like you meant it as a joke, it's going to get more attention.
And I go with you on this. I think a lot of times people do mean it as a joke. Like I think a lot of people are.
Because it's a stranger. It's easy to just ask about a stranger.
Sure.
Because think about it. If you had a girl that was your friend and she learned how to do, like she could always, like if I lay down on the floor.
Girl that's a friend.
And then
Jenna Hurt, when you watch Jenna Hurt skate a bowl, when you go and watch her skate a bowl, you're like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And then you ask her, and she's like a little black-haired fairy flying through the pool at break speed.
Yeah, in her mid-40s, by the way. And she is doing amazing, and you're like, when you see that in real life, and that's your friend, you're like, oh my god, it's the most impressive thing you've ever seen in your life, and you couldn't stop giving her praise. But you see it online, you don't know that person, and then you just make a snarky comment or whatever. You're just like, not that good.
And it's usually
I say my snarky comments for here. I don't really, I really do. Like I'm not that active outside of here. Right. I get it all out here. This is the toilet.
Yeah. But that's why there should be a clear difference, and people should realize that online is not reality. And in any of these girls that were skating at a skate park and you saw them do a trick, everybody at that skate park would be supportive.
They'd be hollering like crazy.
And be like, whoa.
Because that's reality.
Because that's reality. And the online is nothing and should be treated as nothing. And honestly, like no one should even look at it. But no one can help.
There's a lot of jealousy online.
Because we're addicted to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, if a clip of a girl doing a kickflip down some stairs, whatever, and she skates for Toy Machine skateboards, the comments are usually jealous kids that are, hey, I can do that too. Why am I not in the team? Or, you know what I mean? Or I can do that better than she can.
Because maybe skating's more than just doing it. Maybe she had the balls to put herself out there. Or maybe she wrote the letter. Or maybe she found the manager. Come on, man. There's a list of things I could give you here, lazy ass. Like, I could give you a laundry list of things that she did to get herself there. By the way, did you want me to fire up some voicemails? Because I'm having fun. We got our friend in here. I like it when Tony stops by.
No, I know.
I hate it.
So
well, there goes that plan.
Is like based on what you saw, like is the industry doing well? Are they making good money? Are they like
that's
you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know where the skateboard industry is at 2024. I have no clue.
Yeah, well, my personal opinion, actually, it is
kind of cool to talk about.
Skateboarding has because of social media. And because of things like, this is like not necessarily everybody's cup of tea, but like skateboarding being in the Olympics, being considered an Olympic sport. I think that has opened some doors to people that maybe they would have never picked up a board. And I feel like there are more skaters now. I mean, I think at one point, like skateboarding was like the highest growing activity.
The most popular. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I think to this day, it might actually still be.
It's the fastest growing. I believe it is,
Yeah, because
so many kids, like especially little boys, see it and they're like, "Oh my god, I want to do that."
But the market hasn't been flooded because it's hard, and that's that's the great equalizer. Because it's easy enough. Like skateboards are cheaper than they've ever been nowadays, right?
That's true.
Actually, they're quite expensive.
Oh, they are.
Well,
okay.
I think he means from my day buying a skateboard. Like you can get a deck now that probably cheaper than what I paid in DeLand. It was a rarity. Going to a skate shop up the road to Daytona Beach or Orlando, and then we're throwing hundreds at it.
Well, you can get one used on Facebook Marketplace
sure.
for
No,
what?
I mean, there are definitely
$50?
options.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
defi- I made a video on my YouTube channel one time.
It's a good video.
I partnered with Galactic G Skate
This was a
Shops,
good
local
video
shop,
you did.
and we put together like a budget skateboard that you wouldn't outgrow.
Okay.
You know what I mean? A budget skateboard that I would ride. So there are options out there. I mean, you can buy a shop board. You can go to Galactic G and support them and get a shop board for way cheaper than you would a say quote unquote professional board. So there's definitely options out there.
But what I'm saying is that so with the money's not really a hurdle, and then but what is you can't get good without practice and an insane amount of practice, and then a lot of times people won't be willing to do what it takes and put in the time to get good. So that does lower the amount of like podcasting. Everybody could do it fairly cheap, and then people don't even know you don't have to be good to do it, so it's just flooded. There's millions of podcasts, and there's not as many skateboarders because even to get to a point where you do a kickflip while rolling, that is so hard to do.
You want me to tell you something that'll blow your mind,
Yeah.
and I got to give him some love too. There has only been one person out of the multitude of people that I've shown how to set up a podcast with just gear, simple gear. Like hundreds of people have asked me for the setup, and I'll send it out. There's only been one person that's ever done it.
Who?
Grizz. Grizz.
He's
The
not
Grizz.
doing it.
No, he did it for his family. 100% he did. He bought everything and they used it. Everybody else has
Yeah, yeah.
bought the stuff and either returned it or sold it back to me.
But
no one has done it.
I bet you it's sitting there and no one's using
No, they
it again.
didn't. They did
Oh, they did
shows.
one. But they quit.
Regardless, still
Okay.
counts. No one else has ever done it. Not even one
I feel
person.
like I can put together a podcast really easy.
Oh,
Yeah, everybody can.
Everybody
What do you
can.
You need
Bandcamp. What is it? What is it called?
I wouldn't use Bandcamp.
You could do
Logic. I got Logic.
Libsyn. Oh, yeah. You're fine. You're
And I got a
fine.
microphone.
But what I'm saying is, if you say, all right, here's a skateboard, come back when you can do a kickflip, we're all rolling and
Are you
ride
going to
it
show
out.
me anything?
No, but I'm saying that most people cannot be able to accomplish that because it would take them so many hours of work that they wouldn't be willing to put in the time.
I will say though, this is my personal. I experienced this. I have seen way more young people, like kids. I'm talking from 8 to 12, who are amazing skateboarders nowadays, and I think it's because of social media. I think there's more to watch,
Marketing.
more to get inspired from. When back in
More
the day,
readily available for
exactly.
sure.
Back in the day, I used to have to either go get copies of videos or go to the skate shop and buy a video. Nowadays, it's all here on your phone.
Yeah, the
Hard for me
marketing.
to skate. There's so much porno.
the marketing of it is
Right? I mean, you got to add that in. There is a distraction. I got some voicemails. This one I got to tend to. This is a person that's listened to us for a very long time that wants to ask us a specific question about being a trash child.
Hey, Tom and Dan, it's Justine. Tom, you're talking about your kid's last day of school, and it's, I was thinking about this the other day, funny enough. Do you remember, the big to-do after school as a high school, student was to go around, drive around, and egg middle schoolers and elementary schoolers? Do you remember this? Maybe this is just a Brevard County, do, but I remember my mom was like, you can't walk home on the last day of school, you're going to get egged. And needless to say, I never got egged, but I saw people walking around with eggs, so I knew it was true, but it is insane to me that that's not a thing. Everyone's just so nice. Everyone's like, we're just going to throw a party. Everyone's going to have a good time on the last day of school. My son literally has a foam party at his school today. He's in pre-VPK. Get out of here.
He had a foam party and pre-VPK. Okay, now as I was listening to this voicemail this morning, first of all, have you guys ever heard about that? The middle schoolers egging the elementary schoolers? Because Maisie's teacher, who just moved, he came running in, and Maisie came back from school one day, and she's like, Mr. Such-and-so is so mad. They egged his car. He had to go up there and clean it off. She's like, they're terrible. She's such a rule follower. I mean, I love it. She thought that she's like, we should call the police. I'm like, all right, baby. I like you. I love the fact that you're like that. Thank you for being that way.
I remember the shaving cream fights. That's where it's funny, me and Crystal were talking about that. In the end of 8th grade, every year, people used to bring in shaving cream and then have big shaving cream fights on the last day of school. And they did this in high school, too.
Yeah, Maisie got shaving cream, but only to clean her desk. That's the creative way they do it. They're like,
oh, yeah, they put it on the desk.
And then you rub it on, you play with it, and then it cleans the desk off.
But I don't remember it in elementary school, but I remember middle school, the shaving cream fights, and then, of course, like the pranks and stuff. But what this lady's talking about, yeah, like... Society is different. They don't let teens roll around and throw eggs at elementary school kids anymore. But there was a time in the 80s and 90s that society turned the other cheek. It was like, they're just
like
kids having fun.
Middle schoolers would throw. I never had that.
I don't remember that. I don't remember but I do remember like them fighting with the shaving cream and maybe eggs were involved. And, we didn't have any of that.
That
sounds like a small town.
Well,
thing.
I didn't.
Yeah, it does sound small towny.
I didn't go to school here. Obviously, I went to school in Venezuela, but Carnival for us, that's when you do the
that's
prank.
when your mom doesn't wear a bra. I've seen that. I've seen those videos.
Yeah, the big
no
ballooners.
over there. Your mom, your grandma, everybody's got out the big browners.
But that is when you do the pranks with the water balloons and the eggs and things like that. So we would have like quote unquote rival schools come to our school and egg the playground and stuff.
Oh, okay. So school on school
I like
fighting.
that.
Yeah, that's old
I like
school.
that.
Yeah. That it's funny.
DeLand versus Deltona, Bulldogs versus Wolves. I like that.
There used to be a lot more of that. Like, remember when you used to be like go steal something from the other school?
You steal their goat, and then it would die in the back of your Ranger pickup. You have to cut its head off and bury it at the dump.
Well, I had
that didn't happen.
Me and my friends had a plan to. There's a bell at the top of Killian High School in Miami, and then like me and the Wizard and the Grizz sat around in my garage drinking.
Wait a minute, is this bell still there? There's still time.
Well, now it's at 42.
You down for a prank? You down for a prank? You down for a prank?
We at the time we were like, we should steal the bell.
Let's do it now.
And then we were thinking of like how to do it, and we're like, if I tied a rope to the back of my truck
and pull the whole tower down.
That's like the Grizz. Well, the Grizz was going to climb the bell tower.
I gave him props earlier.
And then tie a chain around.
Podcast.
And then I was going to take my GMC S15 truck and then rip the bell out.
Rip the bell out.
You have a bigger truck now. It'd be easier.
Well, but then I remember us talking, like, we were like, we'll get arrested. This is true.
I've never heard this. Is a brand new story.
And then we were like, let's do it now. We were drunk, and it was like 1 in the morning. We were like, let's do it now. But then we were like, if we get caught, like, we'll definitely get arrested, DUI.
Get expelled. You wouldn't graduate.
Oh, yeah, wouldn't. But also, like, ripping the bell down.
Kill somebody. There's an old man in there
we do it in the middle of the night.
But you'll be a legend, though.
Yeah, but
I know. That's what we said. That's what we almost did it.
What if there's some old man, some watchman up there?
You kill him. You gotta kill him.
This is Miami. There's no watchman.
He's buried in the rubble.
Old Cuban guy up there.
Kick off!
We did make a pact. We're like, if the Grizz falls to his death, because for sure when we pull
tying the rope, and he's like, wait.
If he falls to his death, we have to leave him. We said it, and then like we won't tell your mom. We'll just say, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, we had one guy that stole a bunch of computers as a prank from the computer lab, and he just it wasn't that funny because it ended up just being grand theft. It was like, but I will say, I think I'm correct in saying this. Other people that know what I'm talking about, I'm a little vague here, could email me, but I believe his parents were so well-to-do, because it normally goes that way.
Oh, they got him out of it.
They probably wrote him a check and bought some new computers, and we were good to go. And he was fine.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I saw this last week as I was driving home, and I was driving past the rich part of my neighborhood. There's a school, and I don't know if it's a middle school or if it's like a 7th grade center, whatever you call it. There was lines and lines and lines of vehicles, all disguised with. It looked like a parade. It was a parade, I guess, with photos, like large prints of photos of their kids, and they had like ribbons and balloons, and they were just parading around. And their kids were like out the window.
That was Dog the Bounty Hunter's funeral. I'm sorry.
So they're doing like a car parade for graduation.
Yeah, but they were like, the cars were like fully like decked out with stuff. Like I never see that. And then I saw them drive away and all this stuff was just flying off.
This
We're
is
doing
like,
too much as a society.
It's too many adventures. It's too much. It's too many.
So that's not normal, right?
No.
Well, no,
shouldn't be.
That's what it's turned into now. Everything is such a celebration. Every day is fun. I'm telling you, like we're doing way too much.
I'm not.
I don't know. Daniel's daughters get to work. She works 40 hours a week.
I'm not allowed to do anything for her because she doesn't have time. Yeah, she's 4 to 8 every night. She's a dance. See you later.
But my son's every day is the best day of their life. Like a kid, like you know, like the end of the year celebration, ice cream parties, so many ice cream parties, like everything fun. Like, and I'm like, it's too much. Like they don't know, they haven't had a bad day. Like not really had like a horrible time.
I don't want to bring the show down because I'm having a lot of fun today.
They haven't been traumatized.
The vibe of the show is fun. I would say, but what's the saddest thing they've experienced?
No, I know. Then nothing. I can't. Like I remember one time,
Maisie had a grandma die.
Sprinkles.
That's pretty good. Maisie had a grandma died. Maybe that's what kicked her in to get to work. I don't know.
You gotta get them a puppy though, and then experience that.
Oh, Maisie had her dog die, and her grandma died.
Because
maybe that's what kicked her in to get to work.
They've experienced no death.
Maisie came down and saw Caesar dead in his own vomit.
Oh
my grandma died.
That's a true story.
But that made her hard.
It does. We're fleshing this out here. I've never talked about this, but maybe she saw that. Maybe she's like, this isn't all fun and games. You can F off with your ice cream. I got to get to dancing.
But
I don't know.
She's always been get to work since birth. She was doing pull-ups when my sons were bird chests. Watching her do pull-ups when they were pushing herself.
No wonder she kind of has that like Eastern Bloc look.
She's definitely going to be running a steakhouse on a cruise at some point. Oh, man.
You're just born the way you are.
She has a little cat butt mouth. I do not like you will not see that back. That steak is fine.
Yeah. And listen, I will die believing you're born the way you are because I witnessed kids and witnessed through their whole life been the same.
Tracy,
Maisie was that way since 2 years old.
Pretty much.
Tommy, Max were the same way. It's like, what the hell?
Not a lot has changed. I'm looking at the chat room. Tracy in her chat room says that she's going to have to send us some pictures of the Orangewood car parade. One truck had a tiki hut in the bed of it serving drinks.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It was like a full, that's you don't need to do that. Isn't the joy of getting out of school enough? I don't need my mom and dad doing work. I'm out of school. I'm happy.
Yeah. Right. But now everything's a party. And who knows? It may be fine. And these kids may grow up one day and be like, my life was great. And they're like, oh, God.
But
and then we're like, it turns out you don't need a horrible trauma and molestation.
It's not about trauma.
like we had.
It's not about that.
We need some good beating, some alcohol.
What I'm worried about is not trauma and molestation, although we should all worry about that. It's about the comparison, right? If we make everything good now, we know everything's getting worse. We should make everything worse now, so as things gradually get worse, we can pretend they're better.
But here's
you see what I'm saying?
But everything is
the world is getting worse.
It's not. I don't think it is.
It is.
It's better.
It's on fire right now. There's multiple wars. We didn't have that before.
No, we've always had wars. The world is
not like these ones.
The world's getting better, and life is better.
This is positive, Tom.
But it's true. But no, because I think people are affected by like things they see on the internet, and they don't realize the stats of everybody has AC, everybody has a bigger TV than they ever had.
We're gonna get some emails about this part.
I'm just saying,
not everybody has AC. You can't say blanket comment.
I have two AC. I'm
just saying, not everybody, but I'm saying the people are listening to us. Okay, I know there's people in Mumbai. I understand how the world works. I'm just saying things are cheaper now than they've ever been. Maybe not in Florida, but as far as comfort, though, it's easier to live a comfortable life than it's ever been.
Yeah,
that's statistically true.
So I'm saying we should pull back on that. So traditionally, if things get crazier, we'll be able to save a little for the end.
Nah, we're out of Tucson. I'm Tucson. Like, you know, like none of us can fend for ourselves. We are 100% tied into society.
I'm literally on life support right now. I don't know. Can people hear my machines?
We can't go into the woods and live. We're done. We have not hardened ourselves to experience that. So we need society. All I'm saying is there is a better than not chance that society is like this for the next 200 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a better chance of that happening than there is apocalypse, right? So then, if that's the case, then our kids are going to be fine, and they're going to have easy, comfortable lives.
He lost me.
Right?
Sounds like Father God over here.
Yeah, I don't know.
They could be 60.
Next thing you know, behind closed doors, you're going to use the F word for gays, like the Pope did.
No, I'm not.
Pope Thomas.
They could be in their 60s and say to themselves, you know what? My life was full of parties and fun.
They could, yeah.
And I think there's statistically...
But there are people that have already done this, right? So let's look at those people. Like, are there any people that through the, let's say, 80s and 90s had nothing but parties and fun that we can look at and go, like, on their deathbed, how were they? Were they not crazy? Were they well-rounded? Did they give back to others? Did they care for other people? Did they have a good idea of family or any of that? Like, do we have any case studies we can look at?
But they didn't have the same parties and fun that we had. Like, in the 80s...
What do you mean comparatively, right?
No, because they look at the card parades. They didn't do that in the 80s and 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the amount of parties at elementary school and all the, it's like... There are more parties and fun now, like
yeah, but
in
it's
society.
Incrementally getting better. So based on what you're saying, 200 years from now, what are the 100 years, the middle kids, what are they going to do? Can it get just infinitely
easier?
Better?
Yes, I think it gets easier. That's the whole.
So that's my point. Is that we should go back and look at people that comparatively have had a version of this type of life, and I don't necessarily know if it's a good thing.
No, well, yeah, because then it's about, like, you need hard work. Our bodies are designed, to work hard every day and have some sort of adversity.
But that's not what they say. They say smoke weed every day. They don't say work hard every day. No one has ever.
Boom. Well, Nate Dogg said that.
Work hard every day. Boom. This sucks.
No, but how hard do you have to work in a society that's easy to begin with? I wrestle with that all the time.
Oh my God.
Like, do I need to turn my sons into survivalists? For what? What are the chances they're ever going to need to be survivalists?
I mean, you're not going to be able to beat in the agenda that you have in your own mind if you don't turn them into survivalists and lock down your compound like a good true blood patriot. That's what I'm doing.
Can they have?
I already threw my furniture down my stairs. You can't get inside my house from the front door. You can only get into my house through a ladder in the balcony.
All right.
You want to get out of here?
Yeah, let's get it. Tony,
that was fun.
What do you want to plug? I forgot.
Oh, well, I have an improv show coming up.
Oh, nice, man.
In a couple of weeks, Saturday, June 15th at the Winter Springs Performing Arts, also known as The Stage. I will be doing improv with my group, I Am 50 Million. So you can go to iam50million.com. That is, the 50 is a 50. And tickets are currently buy one, get one.
Nice.
All right.
It's a great date night. And it's also a clean show, so you can bring...
littles.
Yeah,
well, not too
as long as they can sit down and watch.
Non-crying littles that can sit still.
Bring your infant baby. I mean,
it looks like a worm. Have sex with their wife in the back row. Old school Opie and Anthony church band. Let's do it. Let's bring it back.
All right. We will see you tomorrow.